Introducing PubCoin. PubCoin is the rewards program for pub sports contributors. Regular chat contributors share their play of the day, POD, in the YouTube chat, including the phrase POD in their message. At the end of the week, the amount of units earned are converted into PubCoins. PubCoin can be used as reward points for prizes, shop discounts, and contests.
Hey, what's going on, y'all? It's Mills here, Pub Sports Radio. Do you guys want to challenge the personalities here at Pub Sports Radio? Do you guys think you're better than them at entering in your MMA predictions and picks? Would you want to get paid for it? $100? Here's how you do it, man. You sign up right here at the link below. It's just this easy. PubSportsRadio.com. Enter your email. Pick your weekly picks. That's it. Oh, and you get bonus points if you can predict how they're going to win in what round. Every single week, a new winner's getting crowned. So every Saturday on Pub Sports Radio. So come on and check us out. You can win $100 just for signing up. Only thing you need to do is see if you can beat us here at Pub Sports Radio by entering your UFC predictions and picks weekly. Do it. I dare you. See you guys.
Upgrade your membership to gold, you will be automatically entered in every horse race, every Wednesday and Friday.
A lot of names, a lot of familiar faces, and another chance for $50 to sign up for PSR Gold. It's going to be a lot of fun. Why wouldn't you want to be on this list, huh? Frank, that's a great question. Does AI determine the winner? No, Frank. The fastest horse does. So shout out to everyone that's a member. We appreciate you guys. We let our horses run forever. 2.5 hours. Hey, what you think? It's Antonio, here we go.
And they are off.
You know I'm not winning this. My horse ain't like this.
And here comes Big Show, who says 2 minutes is too long. Big Show wants this race to end right now. Going to be moving into the stretch soon. K-Wolf up front. Saturated making a move. And there's nasty motherfucking Nate. Director 97! And he should have been Director 97. $100. T-wanting all the money.
Oh my God,
Director! And it's Director 97. Back.
Oh my God!
Fresh, take it home! Here's 6, 5, 4! Oh God! Saturated. Friedrich's gonna come home with it. Is it Billy Friedrich's time? Is it his time? No, it's not. Cody Norton making this Billy the fight with his wife. Billy the fight. Algary's from HTown. Does Coin have enough space to get home? Or will Daby take care of business? Here comes the show. A third win for Director 97.
But Connor Mack takes out. He might be blowing his load a little bit too early. Is anybody? The contestant, here comes Iron Eagle out of nowhere. Iron Eagle.
It's a packed race. 5 seconds. Bristol from the back. Bristol. The family wants that.
Get 'em, Jimmy, where low shack at? The bottle's getting empty, I'm not cracking, we stacking. Chips, all of this, what I want, plus money winners, that's what I'm on. You can say I'm gone, I prefer elevated, Pub Sports Radio. Time to get educated, who get produced, fade the juice, letting loose with so much abuse that the bookies wanna call the truth. They get slaughtered, can't forget Jeff and Low Baggers in the chat. That's a little record, cause we be, oh yeah, pubbing. We be pubbing!
What up, cappers, gamblers, punters, hustlers, low baggers? Happy Friday, June 21st, which means it is Justin McKelvey's birthday, Coogee Cam's birthday. Shout out to you guys. Justin McKelvey, Stacks play today has hit 11 in a row. 11 in a row. for our guy Justin McKelvey celebrating his birthday today. Give the man some love in the chat. Solid capper, solid friend, guy to believe in. Our guy Justin McKelvey. Happy birthday. All we did yesterday was win, and win. Shout out to Gavin Henry. I told you guys he pops into the stream. He gives us a winner at Horseshoe, Indiana. He's 3 for 4 at Horseshoe, Indiana. You know, to go 3 for 4 with the type of wagers that our guy Gavin's making, just odds-wise, spectacular. He gave us a 4, 6, 8, 10 exacta and try box, and he played the 6-win place. You guys know I try to keep my action around $30 a race. When I have 4 horses, it's a $38.40 bet for me. I do the $2 exacta box with the 4 horses, and I do a 60-cent try box with the 4 horses. So I left out his win place. Now, his 6 did come second, and the 8 did come first. That exacta paid 61.25 to 1. 61.25 to 1 from Gavin Henry. The same game parlay. Look, I'm not a soccer capper. I know the Canadian soccer team pretty well. You know, it was fun watching them play the Dutch. It was fun watching them play France. You know, I listened to an interview with Jesse March. Look, I'm not a soccer capper, but I pitched the same game parlay to Joseph Gomez. It cashed so easily, and I could have gone the plus 600. I took the plus 400 route. That cashed, same game parlay. 2-1 in CFL. Obviously, that first half under fell by the wayside, but the Alouettes smash and grab, stick and move. Too easy. And then 3-1 in MLB. All the cappers we had on the show yesterday had winning days. The cappers in the chat had winning days. So let's just keep it going. Shout out to all the cappers in the chat. And Omicron. I am now on day 10 of COVID. Omicron came on and threw out a loser. And I feel a little bit better today. If the lungs were still in rough shape, I was gonna go get them x-rayed after the show, but I feel a little bit better today. And although I was kind of struggling a little bit yesterday with the sickness, it was a great show. We did exactly what we're trying to do. We shared all of our angles. We did it with great success. We're getting paid in full, and we had a good time doing it. Let's just follow that pattern again today. We got a great show today, celebrating Justin McKelvey's birthday. We start with CFL, and I'm all over this card. NFL wasn't as good last year as with the monster. We started 33-4 2 years ago. That was including exhibition or preseason. But I like this time early in the year. I like the overreactions. I feel I can abuse the overreactions, and I'm all over this card in CFL. So this is not just content for content's sake. We're making bets. We're making moves. I'm going to hammer CFL with you guys. Then we're going to do a quick once over in NHL. I had another 24 hours to sit with it. You guys know that I thought the game was last night, because I thought they were going to go Thursday and then get the Saturday night hockey night in Canada. But I was wrong, obviously. But I had another 24 hours to sit with it. I didn't add any action, but we're going to talk about that a little bit more. Then we're going to go into MLB. We got best bets from Daby Cab, who swept the board yesterday. A 3-0 day from Daby Cab. And we have Troy Torrence. He's got 2 spots that he's attacking, so he's going to be joining us as well. Shout out to all the cappers in the chat. We got Chris Boggin in the house. Swiggy there with the UFC contest up. There is the link. The free UFC contest for a free hundo on the line. Remember, it starts early. It's afternoon action. Shout out to our guy TJ, says on the road today, but I'll watch later. The number 1 MLB play today is Boston -102. Took it earlier. Not sure of the number now. Good to -125. TJ, you are the man. $10 dono to bless our action. He has been our, by far our most successful MLB capper thus far early in the season. He's been absolutely spectacular and didn't get off to a good start. I knew that TJ would pay off. I knew it. I was certain of it. And that's why I wanted him to have a much bigger role this year. I was certain of it. certain of it. We've got that. Also, Dommy Gun running hot. Dommy Gun 16-4 in his last 20. And he sent me all his action to share with you guys as well. Viper NB has moved on Detroit -1, only play locked in. You know, it's funny, Vipe. I am on the first 5 under 4 as my only pregame bet in that. And I got plus money. And I didn't really want it. I didn't want it that much. I have this weird suspicion that, and I'm going to bet it too. I just want to talk it out with you guys, but I have a very strange suspicion that Eric Fedde pitches better than Jack Flaherty in this game. And the reason why I say that is we've had Jack Flaherty throw 3 straight scoreless road starts and looked spectacular against the Astros, Rangers, Red Sox. And now he comes home, kind of flipping up his routine a little bit. And this isn't a home that he's used to, right? His first year with the Tigers. He doesn't have very good numbers at home this year and very poor compared to his road numbers. And then you have Fedde in his 5th straight road start. I have this sneaking suspicion. So in saying that, I was curious immediately what that first 3 plus a half would be. Because the first 3 is only plus 120 for the White Sox. This is at 365. The first 5 is plus 135. The first 3 plus a half, which this ended up pushing me to under, is minus 155. They think it's well within the realm of possibilities that Fedde gets through this first 9 batters comfortably. And even the first 5 plus a half was minus 120 at 365. So it's a very interesting game. I'm very excited to attack, but I just have this feeling that Flaherty doesn't. He's been so good. Look, he's been so good. And he just shut down the Astros in Houston. So we'll talk all about that. Joe T in the house. Joe T, best bet POD. So we are tracking our friends of the show, their PODs. We're tracking them on our website. If you go to account on our website, you're going to see it. And we're going to be building and building and building. And we're really excited about doing this through the football season. And if you want yours tracked, just write POD beside it. Joe T, POD is Braves Yankees over 8. Game pops off at 7:10. Cutter Crawford going up against Andrew Abbott. And, oh, shoot, I just copied and pasted Vipers, Detroit -1. Sorry, let me move over here. God, my copying and pasting, usually very strong. Usually extremely strong. Come on. There we go. Joe T's action there. Tori Coker says it's time to celebrate Panthers. Ooh, Tori, I love your confidence. I love it. Ron Crawford, spreadsheet dog play today is the New York Mets plus 128. The Mets plus 128. Dommy Gun also on the Mets. And Troy is going to be talking about that game. I can't wait to talk about that game. That game I find absolutely riveting. Ron Crawford, WNBA play today. He cashed his yesterday with the Chicago Sky. Cashed it very easily. Is Vegas. The Vegas Aces will be closing with WNBA and Billy Brisbane. Let's get that all copied and pasted. Odie in the house. Great to see all of you guys. Here we go. Justin McKelvey on his birthday. 11 straight winners. Stacks play today is the Diamondbacks over 4.5. Team total over 4.5 for Stacks. The Diamondbacks, sorry, let me get up here and have this ready to go. Diamondbacks, early 6:40 start. Arizona at Philadelphia. The Diamondbacks is the Stacks play of the day. Diamondbacks over 4.5. Team total here going for 12. Going for a dirty dozen. But it's not dirty. So clean, man. If McKelvey's dropping it, it's clean. Justin McKelvey says, need a good day. Birthday pick from everyone who shows their face on the show today. Respect. I think I'm certain mine is. I think I'm certain. I know what mine is. And we're going to get into it real fast. So don't worry. We'll get into it real fast. I know what it is. I know what it is. All right. Great to see all of you guys. We got Markel ready to roll. Says, Happy birthday, Justin. Shout out to you on them WNBA bangers. We got serious business ready to get to work. Every time I say his name, I lock in. NJ Striker, Joey Harb on Boston over 4.5 there. Remember, right? POD, and the squad will track it. Let me get this here set up so we can discuss all of these big games. We got great pitchers pitching today. It's going to be it's so much fun. So much fun to cap this. Get this Friday night. So Friday nights are my favorite night of the week because I have all this action. I have more action than I'll have on Saturday and Sunday. I have all this action and I don't need to cap that night. I let go. Now I can't booze because of damn COVID. Okay, I'm going to copy and paste this. We got Joey Harb's action. Joey Harb and Director 97 are only 2 3-time winners of our horse race. Speaking of our horse race, $100 on the line. The El Dorado custodian, Jason Meyer, passed his on. He passed it on. There's $100 on the line for the horses. We raced camels yesterday and it felt good. Felt really good seeing those camels out there. I think we race camels again. Now, there is swimming and sprinting. I mean, come on. If Jose wants to find a different animal, Mike Wilkerson, Kelly McInnes, ready to get to work. Daby Cab, the play of the day is Ozuna over 1.5 hits, runs, and RBIs. There we go. Daby Cab, Ozuna over 1.5 hits, runs, and RBIs for Dabra Cadabra. Get that right here. That, I've read some people who are like, oh, how, disappointed will her father be in that girl? Look, that girl's a superstar. She's shining her light on the world. Jesus. I mean, where do you put her? I mean, the Pope, she's higher than the Pope for me. I don't know about you guys, but who is she our greatest American? God. I mean, if she was running for president right now, everybody would be doing that. Everybody would be, oh God, they would be going nuts for her. She's a star of stars. Rocco Rogers ready to get to work. Gerald Jones, Coogee Cam on his birthday says, well, fellas, on my way to the Cubs-Mets game right now. Respect Coogee Cam. Respect. Ken Mizrahi ready to go. Rocco Rogers, Lucky, and Jock Peterson over 1.5 bases and a homer for old Jock Peterson and his heavy-ass bat. Get that copied and pasted. All right, locked in. Great to see all you guys. All of you guys. Morgan Spooner in the house. Casey Rose over 3.5. And Seattle -1. I'm interested in the Seattle game. Extremely interested. And that is Troy Torrence special. So Troy's going to be opening up the MLB with us. And then we will have him come later for that Mariners game. Stimmy OG in the house. Sharon Pulliam, O'Brien Palmer, Joey Marinaccio, the Dapper Capper, Top Set, Professor Chris. Great group. We got Coin ready to rock. Andrew G, Markel, Jay Smooth. Smooth Balls play today is 3-team parlay, Minnesota, Boston, and the Dodgers. Get that copied and pasted right here. Copied and pasted. We got Anonymous User 1. We got My Dude, Amsterdam. What else? Jarek White ready to get to work. And Nate Dogg gifting 5 Pub Sports Radio memberships. What a guy. What a great guy. 5 Pub Sports Radio memberships. We're running nice. You can just tell we all just made so much money yesterday. It's just that there's that feeling in the air, man. Stacks, birthday. It's just that feels good, man. Feels good. Brandon Smith, Strategic Investments, Sean, BJ, and Eberk getting the gift from our friend Nate Dogg. Thank you. Joseph Gomez in the house. Joseph Gomez. I pitched you the SGP. You said, I like it. Go bet it. And I did just that. Thank you, Joseph. Top Crocodile in the house. DC Capper, Rod Zawacki, Flatsy says, just last game in the NHL, Tarasenko and Rodriguez, both over 1.5 shots is the parlay here. Let me just get that ready for our very quick NHL breakdown because we did break it down heavy yesterday, and that video's up on our YouTube page right now. Get this up here. Great group. It's time to get to work. There's Wine Time Sports in the house. Philly, Arizona over 9.5 for Wine Time. I tried to get everybody's games, like before the game, and I stopped doing that. It's just taking too much time. So if I had a copy and pasted somewhere on my worksheet, I might not have it right before the game. Adrian A says cash out Fridays. I'm that Heat. Says Montreal was a ting of beauty. And Coin says Las Vegas own Eric Fetty will be a nice trade piece for someone next month. Okay, and TJ agreeing that the first 5 under 4 is solid in that game. And White Sox first 5 for Jarek Wright. You must have got that. Is that plus a half? That must be plus a half, right, Jarek? Steve G in the house. Steve G, what's happening? Great to see you. All right, Rob Free. Everybody ready to go? So let's do exactly that. Thank you guys for joining us. Let's roll. Chase J ready to get to work. Doug on the Brewers plus 130. Matt Complex looking at the Yankees money line. Jarek saying plus a half. Can't wait to talk about that game. All right, let's get to work. We start in CFL. So losing those first 2 games when we knew the under was money, but tying it with the Bombers, starting at 0-2, I was very upset. I need to deliver for you guys in Canadian football. This is not content for content's sake. This is for us to make money. And here you go, Justin McKelvey. My birthday. Now, if this is going to be a friends and family type parlay thing, or if it's just our best bet, I am on the other side of our friend Nate Dogg for 20. I think the Bombers are the best bet on the board on the entire sports schedule. I have the Bombers first half money line at minus 125, and I took the Bombers full game minus 2.5. I was really believed that this would be a 3 come kickoff, and it went against me. Went to 2, went to 1.5. Look, same thing happened with the Alouettes game yesterday. Rod Zwacky says Winnipeg looks like shit, and he's laughing. This, again, I love early in the season. Yes, Winnipeg looks bad. The preseason favorite to win the Grey Cup, they look bad. So we're in Princess Auto Stadium in Winnipeg, Manitoba. So if you guys were going to use this with the friends and family parlay, I would use Moneyline. Rod Zwacky says, but they can't lose again. Look, everybody said that as a joke. Oh, but Winnipeg can't lose to Ottawa. They can't lose after that. And I wasn't on Winnipeg in that game. So that joke, Rod Zwacky, I got hit with that joke. Terry made that joke with us on Twitter last week. So, look, I get it. Nobody wants to back the Bombers. I do. Let's get into the line history here for this spot. And by the way, having Rod Zwacky in the chat is going to help us enormously. And so remember, we don't need to agree with each other. This is capping. It's capping. We do our best to get the cash by any means necessary. Right now, the Bombers are -2 and -108. Again, they opened up at Pinnacle after I'd already bet it. I'd already bet this. Look. So Pinnacle tells a different story. Pinnacle opens this up at -1.5 and -112. Now it's -2, -108. You could say that the market's moving in Winnipeg's direction, but we know I betted at 2.5 before Pinnacle opened this up. Pinnacle opens up their Canadian football Monday mornings, and I was already all over it. From a total standpoint here, we are sitting with a 51.5, heavily juiced to the over. This is moving to the over, 50 to 51 to 51.5, and now we see 52s, 52.5 at Will Hill. So let's roll. 77 Fahrenheit, partly cloudy, 7 miles per hour at beautiful Princess Auto Stadium in Winnipeg, Manitoba. The Lions come in off a 26-17 victory in their home opener over the Stampeders. 50 Cent was the pre-game concert. They sold out. It was bananas. The BC Lions are not as good as they were last year on both sides of the football. their offense, I said, was going to take a considerable step back. And I believe it has. They lost numerous game-breaking receivers. Now, this was a point of depth. For them. Ken Mizrahi, we are not breaking down soccer later, and but we are going to change that as we move forward here. We're going to change that as we move forward. Top Crocodile says, Jimmy Tuno fading the public. Everyone's on. Montreal last night stamps. So, and it's not always going to be this. Well, I love seeing those numbers, Top Crocodile. I'm not saying that we're going to be able to continue them, but this is my favorite spot on the entire board, on the entire sports. And let me stress too that I was not on the Bombers last week. Okay, I wasn't sitting there going, oh, they're going to bounce back here in Ottawa and Drew Brown's first game in Ottawa. So back to Vernon Adams was very good. 26 for 33, 339 yards, 2 touchdowns, 1 interception, and he still has weapons. Look, Alexander Hollins is a legit WR1, caught 8 passes for 97 yards and a touchdown. Justin McInnis caught 4 passes for 91 yards and a touchdown. And ex-Philadelphia Eagle Travis Fulgham was nowhere to be found. He caught 1 pass for 11 yards. They're going to be worse on both sides of the ball. Slatsy says Bombers lost to Ottawa, but Oliveira returns tonight, and that 0-2 Winnipeg really needs this one. So let's talk about the preseason favorite, but also, Matthew Betts not in the lineup. The Calgary Stampeders offense is very pedestrian. Now, I'm going to back the Stampeders at times this year. I had no problem doing it against the Tiger Cats. I'm going to do that, throughout the year. In saying that, it was a very difficult spot for Calgary in a sold-out BC Place Stadium. I mean, it was like we're back in the 70s, 60s. It was like we're back at Exhibition Stadium in front of 80,000 fans in the 60s. My family, on my dad's side of the family, they had season tickets to the Lions for years. It was must-watch sports in Vancouver. So, but let's go back to Winnipeg. Preseason favorite to win the Grey Cup, coming off their second straight loss to start the season. Ugly 23-19 loss at Ottawa. Zach Collaros, 2-time passing touchdown leader, 2-time Canadian most outstanding player, or CFL most outstanding player, not Canadian, CFL most outstanding player. He hasn't thrown a touchdown yet. Okay, so he's not throwing a touchdown yet. He goes into Ottawa, looks terrible again. He doesn't have Brady Oliveira, and that was hugely noticeable, the number 1 rusher in the league. 15 to 31 for 285 yards and 2 interceptions. So they're getting hammered. They are getting hammered here, destroyed in the media. Everybody's all over them. They have 2 extra days of rest and preparation. That is crucial. Winnipeg has beaten up on BC Lions, except for that first game in Winnipeg last year when the Lions made their statement. They made a statement to the league that they were a different football team and they were changing everything over on the West. And it was a statement game. But look, in Winnipeg, other than that, the Lions are averaging 15.1 points per game over their last 8 games. So Rod Zwack said he had massive trends towards the Bombers as well. Said it's a pass for him. I love, if we can have Rod Zwacky in our chat, every single CFL breakdown, it's going to be hugely, hugely advantageous for us, regardless of us being on the same side or not. But let me finish here. I think the Bombers are the best bet on the board. The best bet on the board. It might not be easy. I doubled up on them. Bombers first half money line, Bombers full game -2.5, -110. You can get a better line out there right now. Best bet on the board for me. Let's roll on. Next up for us is tomorrow night's game. So again, we talk about overreactions. This is overreactions 101. How big was the drop-off going to be from Chad Kelly, who's suspended for 9 games, to Cameron Dukes? We still don't have that answer. But what do we know is that player for player, the Argonauts are arguably the best team in the CFL. Now, of course, the Alouettes would have something to say about that, and that's legitimate. This line has been moving towards the Edmonton Elks, just like the line was moving towards the Ottawa Red Blacks. Very, very similar situations here. 72 Fahrenheit. There's a real possibility of a big thunderstorm here at some point during the game. 8 miles per hour winds. Let's get into the line history here, and I'm going to be tight. I know we got a lot to do here, and I'm going to be tight. I'm just, going to give a quick X's and O's and tell you my bet. And this is an interesting one because I haven't bet it yet. The line just keeps moving towards Ottawa. So there was a point last night where I was like, oh, the jig is up. The line's going to start moving so fast towards Montreal. And I moved on it. I got 7 at minus 105 and the first half minus 4 at even money. And I was wrong. The line, as soon as I bet, it was like people pointed and laughed and started hammering the Red Blacks. And I was embarrassed. And maybe that's why I'm holding off now. It's amazing. And Noli Knows talks about it all the time. But my ROI when the line moves against me is positive, healthy. This total is at 49 at minus 108. And the air conditioner, the AC in the house is off. Shockingly off. I'm sweating buckets. I will need to fix this at some point. Let's get into the spread here. Full game is, it looks like the 4.5s are coming. God, I was late. Okay. I thought it was going to be 4s across the board at one point. I don't know if it will. I was waiting for a 4. Maybe I don't have to. Maybe a 4.5 is fine. I also want to double up on this one. So, and I haven't done it yet. Edmonton comes in off its second straight home loss to open the season, a 23-20 setback at home to the Montreal Alouettes. Everybody is going to look at what the Montreal Alouettes did to the Red Blacks and think, oh, Edmonton's the real deal. That was a real tough spot for Montreal, starting the year with 2 straight road games. Edmonton getting to start the year with 2 straight home games. They are again not using Kevin Brown enough. 11 carries for 50 yards. And who do you blame? MBT, McLeod Bethel Thompson, is doing what he always has done. These rinky-dink, tiny short passes, relying on his receivers to get yards after the catch. He finished 28 for 42 with 300 yards passing, 0 touchdowns, and 2 interceptions. That's what you're going to get from him. And I hope that Trey Ford becomes the starting quarterback because I thought there was mistakes with both of these teams in the futures market. And I moved on the Argonauts over 9.5. I moved on the Elks over 7.5. Obviously, after starting the year like this, the Argonauts bet looks really good. When the Argonauts played the BC Lions, the Argos were 6-point dogs. It made no sense to me. I didn't have the balls to bet the money line, but I was on the Argos, and that included a fumble recovery in the first half for the Lions, and you could have got the Argos live plus 15.5 in that football game. Gittins Jr. caught 7 passes for 93 yards. They have weapons in Edmonton. The Argos come in off their bye week. Now, we know that hasn't been very good. Over the last few years, CFL teams coming off their bye week. But I challenge that, and I would like to find those numbers. I didn't have time to pull them out. I challenge that with early season buys. I get it. Week 8, week 9, these guys get a bye week. They go away on vacation. I get it. But not week 2. Week 2, they get that first game. They go over all the tape. They heal their injuries, and they come back and fire when everybody's against them because they don't have their starting quarterbacks. So let's go. Former University of Virginia wide receiver Dejon Brissett caught 3 passes for 52 yards and a touchdown. He's going to be a big piece of the puzzle this year. And Rasheed Bailey as well caught 50 for a touchdown. But it was Kadeem Carey. Who felt disrespected by the Calgary Stampeders. He looked like a monster. He ran 16 times for 65 yards, caught 4 passes for 40 yards and touchdown. Now, Folaren or Malade is out with an ankle injury, a star defensive lineman. Look, that hurts them. But I thought Cameron Dukes looked excellent. I don't like it when he leaves the pocket. He's got to secure the football. But 21 of 27 for 254 yards, 3 touchdowns, no interceptions. He ran 5 times for 37 yards and a touchdown. I am going to be on. Sorry, I still got the COVID, battling with COVID. But I'm going to be on the Argos. And maybe I don't need to wait any longer. I'm going to be on the Argos. Now, Chris Jones wants to beat the Argos more than anything. But it's going to take more than that. It's going to take more than that. So I'm just waiting. I was waiting. I thought 4s might come, but I don't need. I'm going to take the Argos first half and full game here. And I'm not going to be concerned about the bye, which we will be in 7 weeks. Okay. So I haven't bet that one yet. Let's move on to the Sunday game. And I have bet the total. I'm on the under 50.5. We just watched 63 points scored between these two teams, and I'll explain everything. And I'm waiting for the Ticats to get to +3. The problem I have was that they were there. The Ticats got to +3 for a cup of coffee at 365, and it was juiced, but still they got to 3. And I was just waiting for the juice to even out. It looked like all the books were moving that direction. That was not the case. It's a 2.5. If it stays at 2.5, look, I'll bet it at 2.5. I'll bet it. But I want the 3. Right now, this is a pick 'em at 2.5. I guess I'm not going to get the 3. So this opened up at 3 at Pinnacle 2. God, I missed it. And then it went to 2. Then there was a big move towards the Rough Riders. Now it's at 2.5. From a total standpoint here, we are dealing with a 50.5. Now, I got a 50.5 at -110. If you want that 50.5 at -110, bet it now. This under 50.5 is either -120 or it just moved to -118 at Pinnacle. I expect it to move to 50. So here we go. First off, the total. These two teams have really struggled running the ball. And both defenses were making a point to stop the run, and they did that very easily. Now, I like Ouellette. I think Ouellette is a hell of a running back for the Rough Riders. He was an Argos running back. But on Sunday, 81 Fahrenheit, mainly sunny, 18-mile-per-hour winds, and they get stronger throughout the game. The wind gusts are 30 miles per hour. These two offenses that were trying to stop the run, which opened up the pass, aren't going to be able to throw the deep ball. It's going to be short passes, and it's going to be running the football. I don't know obviously the books know about that. I'm surprised that I could still get the -110 on the under 50.5. I think this goes down based on weather alone. But I didn't even need the weather. The quote we talk about all the time is familiarity breeds contempt. These teams just played each other. The Ticats were up 30-20 in their home opener, and the Rough Riders came back in the last 8 minutes. Not only that, but the best wide receiver in the league and the Ticats star, Tim White, bounced an easy catch. Maybe it wasn't that easy of a catch, but it bounced off of him, interception, and they lost the game because of it. Tim White feels like he lost the game for his team on the home opener. The whole team is so dejected for letting this lead slip away, a lead that they deserved. And it was a 2nd century Roman philosopher, Lucius Apelles, who made that first quote, familiarity breeds contempt, not Mark Twain. So 21 points in the fourth quarter to beat the Edmonton Elks 2 weeks ago. Last week, they put up 26 points in the second half to beat Hamilton. Look, I get it. Trevor Harris is a smart quarterback, but he's an old 38-year-old quarterback who's conjuring up this magic with Kean, Schaefer, Baker, and I don't believe it. Now, I know Nate Dogg 420 and other really good cappers who are confidently on the Rough Riders. Confidently. Not me. And Rod Zwacky took Toronto -6 and Argos team total over 28. Says Elks defense still not good, rolls by 7+. I love it. There's our guy Mikey Money in the house. The slam dunk second inning winner of ribeye play today was a thing of beauty. So let's go back to this here. These teams couldn't run on the defense. Ouellette had 7 carries for 29 yards in the second half. He had 3 carries for 4 yards in the first half. He did have 4 receptions for 27 yards. Butler ran for 27 yards on 12 carries. If you ask the Rough Riders, they're like, we do not believe Bo Levi Mitchell can beat us. We're setting up to stop Butler. They're going to do that again. And can Bo Levi Mitchell beat you guys with trickery in 30-mile-per-hour wind gusts? The answer is no. Now, I do think as a roster after getting embarrassed at home that they're going to come into Saskatchewan and have an edge to them that you don't see in week 3 of the CFL. Now, this is not a first half bet. It's only a full game bet with that first 5 under. Daily Spread Podcast says he doesn't like the Rough Riders this week. I like that. Nate Dogg says Saskatchewan at home is fire. Mosaic Field is a tough place to play. There's no doubt about that. But this is a team that was just embarrassed. Just embarrassed. So I've already moved on the under 50.5. I want to see if I can get the +3. If I can't, that's okay. You can't get alternate lines, in the CFL. It's really hard to find books that will offer them. So I can't pay for the 3 right now. There's nothing I can do. But that is CFL right there. CFL. So look, we're in the black. It's not enough, but it's a start after starting out the year 0-2. Tonight, we're on the Bombers first half money line. Bombers full game -2.5. The Bombers full game -2. Best bet on the board for me tonight. Now, look, best bet on the board doesn't mean it's going to cash. It's the best bet on the board for me. Then tomorrow, I want the Argos first half and full game. I think that Rod Zawacki is giving me the confidence to do that. And I'm ready to not wait for a 4 anymore. Just get in. Then I've already bet the under 50.5 on Sunday for Hamilton, Saskatchewan, and I'm waiting for the Ticats +3. If I don't get it, you know what happens. Yes, I'm sweating buckets around most. I don't know how this happened. It was very cool all morning, and now I'm sweating buckets. All right, that is Canadian football. Let's roll into NHL, and we will be very quick here in NHL. Okay, cool. Okay, so we've got we're gonna have 2 special guests for that first Cubbies game here. First Cubbies game. All right, I've had another 24 hours to sit with the Stanley Cup Final, game 6 here, and it's going to be as exciting as any hockey game has been in the last 30 years in Canada. You have Bobrovsky and Skinner. You have an Edmonton power play that may have woken up with 2 power play goals. You have the Edmonton Oilers with all the momentum. As I've sat with this, I have started veering away from the Edmonton Oilers. And I love the unders. The whole world's on the overs. 3 straight overs. The last 2 overs flew over so quickly. And let's go to the cash flow. It was 97 and 97 yesterday. Let's go to the line history. I think that you are going to get both teams' best hockey game. Who wins both teams' best hockey game? You could easily say, I'm watching this series and the Oilers do. And that's fair. That's a completely fair breakdown and trust your breakdown. But there was a reason why I thought the Panthers would win the Stanley Cup in the beginning. And maybe they left their foot off the gas and opened the door against a good Oilers team. Should they have been up 3-0? You could easily say that the Oilers should have won game 1. That's all fair. This is sitting here with the Oilers at Pinnacle right now at -118. We've had a move towards the Florida Panthers slightly. That's a surprise. This total is sitting here as a pick'em. This was juiced to the under 5.5. I don't like seeing it as a pick'em at Pinnacle. It makes me think it's moving to the over. And I really love the idea that nobody was showing fear of all of the money being on the over. Thought I had this up. I don't. Let me just grab it right now. I tried to get rid of some of these pages. So let's just get up the cash right now. We have, remember, it was 97 yesterday. Today we have more bigger bets coming in on the Florida Panthers. So 29% of the tickets. Yesterday it was 29% of the tickets and 32% of the cash. Today it's 29% of the tickets and 42% of the cash. On the total, there's money coming in on the under and yet starting to move towards the over. It was 3% and 3% yesterday. Now it's 9% of the tickets on the under and 8% of the cash. Let's say that I lose the full game under based on empty net goals. I'm going to take that risk. I'm going to go up against the public, and I'm going to take that risk. I expect the first period under to get that cash. Saturated says, are you bringing spite, though? That's a good question. Initially, I was drinking the juice on what I was seeing with the Edmonton Oilers. But then I just started thinking about the situation and how the Panthers are going to play. The first and the most important angle in this entire series, and what I started with before game one, was that the Panthers were excited to be in the Stanley Cup final last year. They were injured, and they watched a team that was all business win the Stanley Cup in front of them. Then they spent all year trying to get back there, and then they got up 3-0. Now there's fear inside of them. This is the most important business trip of their entire lives. I believe in the pedigree of the Florida Panthers. Now, am I scared of Connor McDavid? Am I scared of Connor Brown, Adam Henrique, and that Matthias Janmark line? Yes. Yes, I am. And I'm going to go back to the original cap. That now, I know everybody says the pressure's all on Florida and all that stuff, but I see Florida with their backs against the wall. I think the intensity from this group of men is going to be the highest that they've ever shared with each other. And if they get that first goal, if the Oilers get a lead, the Panthers aren't built to come back against the Oilers. And the Oilers are built to come back against the Panthers. It's a tricky situation. I think that the Panthers have earned this opportunity to be one win away from the Stanley Cup Finals. And after saying all of this, I will not be betting the Oilers to win the series or to win this game. I make a little bit more if the Panthers win the cup than if the Oilers, $400 more if the Panthers win the cup than if the Oilers win the cup. Saturated says they can't be giving up shorthanded. I agree. Top Crocodile says the pressure's on the Oilers tonight, being back home, much more pressure than last game. You know, I believe that a lot of that is true, Top Crocodile, but that goes against what a lot of people believe. A lot of people still think all the pressure's on Florida. Now, I don't think it is. I think that they've just had a huge wake-up call and a slap in the face. If this goes to Game 7, then the pressure will be on the Panthers. But I do believe in what you're saying. So let's review action. I'm on the first period under 1.5 and the full game under 5.5. If there's an early goal scored, I'm not going to be afraid to go and live bet the under. Mr. Gokster has moved on 4 spots, and I was surprised. Mr. Gokster, who liked Edmonton and didn't want to move on them before the series started, has come full circle and backed Florida. And that was in my head too. I respect Gokster as a capper very much. He's watching these games very closely, and I respected that. This is his action here, Mr. Gokster, for the Stanley Cup Finals, and he gave it out all yesterday. Oh, shoot, I just blew past it. Sorry. Here we go. Mr. What the hell is it? I'll have to go back to my 220th. There we go. Sorry. Oh, here we go. Verhage pinned it. Verhage over 2.5 shots. Ekholm over 1.5 shots. He's moving on both those. Florida money line and the Florida team total over 2.5. There we go. It's going to be a lot of fun. And I'm not taking Edmonton anymore. And if Edmonton wins Game 6, we will be live on Monday night for Game 7 for an NHL live stream. I think that'll be long enough for me to hit the bottle and be over COVID. I'm hoping. I'm praying. There you go. That is our NHL breakdown. Now, the full entire breakdown is available on our YouTube page from yesterday. And Slatsy, again, is tying Tarasenko and Rodriguez both over 1.5 shots on goal at plus 150. Coin saying Florida's 4-6 in the last 10 Stanley Cup Finals. I think that helps them. I think going 1-4 last year helps them. I don't care what they did last year record-wise in my cap. I care that they lost and watched another team win the Stanley Cup. I also care that they're up 3-2. Rod Zawacki, McDavid over 1.5 assists at plus 145. Anytime goal plus 125. And McDavid over 3 points. Says sit back and enjoy the best player work. It's a fun way of doing it. Copy and paste that. All right, it's time to get into MLB. Time to get into Major League Baseball. We went 3-1 yesterday. You guys, all I needed was one more out for Mackenzie Gore, and unbeknownst to me, I was going to go 4-0 on the day. We didn't get that out. The show had just ended, and I lost. I opened up 0-1, but we cashed our other 3 bets. Arizona, Washington, first 5 under 4.5, lost. Arizona, Washington, full game under 9, cashed. Guardians, cashed. And I didn't move live on it when I could have. I didn't think plus 155 was enough. And KC, Oakland, first 5 under 4, cash. Juan Polo says his Baltimore Orioles crushed. And Rod Swagger says Edmonton 12-0 at home versus teams on losing streaks. God, it's going to be a fun game tonight. Very, very fun. Fernando Mendoza said, glad I fitted Messi anytime goal yesterday. He had a couple chances. Doug says Orioles killed us, not Justin McKelvey, because he focused on the team total. It's time to get into Major League Baseball. Continue our climb back to the black. Please welcome the star of MLB programming here on Pub Sports Radio, our friend, Mr. Jose Bouquett, to the program. Jose, how are you?
I'm all right, Jim. Celtics championship parade day, I should say. So it's a good day. I liked watching it, and I'm glad that we have certain people here to enjoy the festivities.
Yeah, it is a richly deserved win for your Boston Celtics. All right, it is time to get into MLB, and we have a lot of action in this first game. We have Dommy Gun moving on the dog. We have the spreadsheet dog play of the day from Ron Crawford here on the dog. And we have a couple ringers that we are bringing in. The first of 2 games for your first guest. He watches these Cubs very closely. He was at the game. Was it 2 days ago? Yes.
Yeah. He and his wife both took. His wife took a hot dog from me, which I sent immediately. I wanted to see a picture of the hot dog, actually. I was really jonesing for one that day. And then he took a steak off me. And my computer's messing up, so I'll be right back.
All right. So I won't go turn on the AC. I'll just keep sweating out for now.
Hold on. You'll get it. I'll be back.
Okay, it's all good. I'm fine right now. I can sweat this out for now. Let's bring him on. The Cubs have never lost in his presence. Please welcome, from Chirac, our friend, Mr. Troy Torrence. Troy, how are you? I think you're muted, my man. Let's get this. Okay. No, we got to get your sound right. We will take a second here. Maybe we do a restart. Here. Let's get our second ringer in here. He has been spectacular. 6-2 live with us on player props, pitching props. Please welcome, now making his home in Tennessee, sweet Tennessee, star of the Odds Bunch YouTube channel, Sharpie Bets in the house. Sharpie, how are you?
I'm chilling, bro. Wasn't planning on coming on here, so I literally just typed this shit up as you're talking football over there. So I'm like, so yeah. Now I got my write up done, so I'm ready to talk baseball.
I love it.
Got my bet in, but you know.
I love it. This is a big, very interesting game. Let's get Mr. Torrence back in and hear him talk. Troy.
Yeah, you got me.
You're beautiful. All right, let's roll, gentlemen. Wrigley Field in Chicago, Illinois. Illinois. Sorry, I know you don't pronounce that. Cubs 36-39, 3 games under 500, but 5 games.
Wait, you don't?
At home. We have the Mets 17-15 on the road, running very, very hot right now. Wrigley Field, 73 Fahrenheit, 7.3 miles per hour in, dies down to 6.7 miles per hour in. We have Jose Quintana going up against Shota Imanaga. Let's get into the line history here for this one and the cash flow. And then here our experts go to work. Again, Dommy Gun is on the Mets. Ron Crawford, spreadsheet dog play of the day, is also on the Mets. Shout out to Ron. All right. Two great cappers we know already on the dog here. Let's take a look at the line history. We're sitting here with the Cubbies at minus 143. They opened up at minus 150. We've had 5 or 6 cents of movement, depending on what side you're on, towards the New York Mets. Let's get to this total. This total is sitting at 7.5, minus 115 to the over. This opened up at 8.5. We're down a full run. We've moved a full run down to the under. Let's get to the cash flow here. God, I'm just dripping. Let's get to the cash flow here. From a cash flow perspective, we have 25% of tickets and 46% of the cash on the New York Mets. We have 74% of tickets and 66% of cash on the under. 26 and 34 on the over. Jose Quintana coming off a very good start at home versus the Padres. 6 innings, 1 earned run. It was a solo shot, 6 Ks, 2 walks. He's not had a very good season. 4.98 ERA, 1.37 whip. He's allowed 12 home runs over 72 and a third. And it's all happened on the road. On the road, he's been bad. 1-2, 6.68 ERA. 301 opponent's batting average, but he's back Wrigley Field, a place that he's pitched often. Shota Imanaga, a lot of talk about regression for him, but he looked very good in his last start here at Wrigley. 7 innings, 1 earned run, 6 Ks, and no walks. Very, very impressive. He's been lights out at home. 3-0, 1.31 ERA. In 41 and a third, he's 44 strikeouts, 2 walks, and a 201 opponent's batting average. The biggest extreme dichotomy statistically is what the Mets are doing versus lefties compared to the Cubs. Mets are 278 with an 823 OPS since May 15th, while the Cubs are the worst in baseball, 208, 583 OPS. Let's start with best bets from our guests, Jose. We'll start with Troy Torrence. Troy, I will be back here. I've got to get the AC going, but I will be listening loud and clear. Take it away, Mets Cubbies.
Yeah, you might want to listen to this one because I got some atypical, not usual statistics, numbers, or information for you on this one. So
I'm interested.
Yeah,
you got a nice little tan going too, Troy.
Yeah, man. And outside, I got a softball tournament today, and we're defending champs, Catholic League champs. So hopefully we can repeat that. But hey, I get it. You know, Mets have been one of the hottest teams in baseball. Numbers bear to be true. And yes, I'm a Cubs fanboy. But I have some insider information on this game, and I think it moves the needle. My boy, he came out with me to Pub Sports to Pubapalooza in San Antonio just recently. Faber. He works at the most pristine elite gym in Chicago. It's called Sports Performance Training System. The likes of Khalil Mack, Jimmy Butler, Jake Cronenworth are just a few guys who've been in and out of those doors and continuously go back whenever they're in the city. You know who also is included on that list? Jose Quintana, who played in Chicago for 10 years. Yesterday, my boy calls me. He tells me, hey, man, Jose's been here for 10 hours. He's been getting treatment on his elbow, on his pitching arm. And this just obviously is awesome for me who wants to back the Cubs. Give me a reason to back the Cubs. So I started asking questions like maybe this is part of his normal routine. I asked that exact question, and Faber says, no, this is nowhere near his normal routine. He's usually in and out of here. It's never this long of an extended process. So I don't know if he might even get scratched today or what have you, but that's pretty interesting to put in your back pocket, and not sure what that does for anyone else's bets. But for me, that's a reason to fade. And personally, I believe the Cubs are going to regress favorably against left-handed pitching. I know they've been terrible lately. They've been terrible. But we've seen what they did in the first month of the season. They were the best team in the MLB against left-handed pitching. I think they're going to regress. Maybe they're not the best, but they're definitely not the worst versus left-handed pitching. And we have Shota on the mound, who's been elite. Profiles as the Cubs' best pitcher. He's probably their second best pitcher in all reality behind Steele. And Quintana, on the other hand, profiles as the Mets' worst pitcher, especially when you put him in a road game. I also think that there's, and I'm trying to put some numbers to this. I have a very small sample. It's hard to find. And somebody that knows SDQL can send me this probably really quickly. And I don't know it that in depth. But when you got a team on a road-to-road series with a day off in between, I've noticed those teams have performed terribly offensively more than anything. You know, I don't trust this Cubs bullpen at all. You already know. I'm on the Cubs first 5. I'm going a little heavier on it today. I got it I posted it when it was at minus 105. I don't know what it's at now. And I got 2 units on it.
Wow. What a fascinating breakdown. We'll give you the line. I'll line shop for you right now. Wild stuff. Let's hear what Sharpie has to say about all of that. Sharpie, take it away.
Sharpie's over here getting baked, but yeah, man.
Yeah, are you all right, Sharpie? I see you saw God in there for a second. I was worried about you.
I may have, bro. He may have came to speak it to me, bro. So and he spoketh to me about Shota, bro. I mean, you know, I'm not here to talk Jose fucking Quintana. This isn't 10 years ago, but did they even have K-props then? No, it was fantasy baseball. So who drafted Jose Quintana 10 years ago? I did. All right, guys, let's talk Shota. We got Shota versus the Mets, who over the last 200 plate appearances versus lefties, they're walking a little bit above league average. They're not striking out just 20% of their at-bats, and they have an isolated power out of this stratosphere. So let's go see who they seen in that time span that I would bet on. As they seen the Rangers and Padres, who don't have a lefty, I'd bet a K-prop over on. And then they seen the Marlins, Phillies, and Nationals, where no pitcher had more than 6 strikeouts, yet all of those are divisional games, where they have seen those guys a boatload of times. As a sinker baller, and Braxton Garrett is just not a good pitch you want to have versus the Mets, and he got rocked. They set a trap-ass line on Luzardo's K-prop at 4.5. He went 5.2 innings, gave up 2 earned runs, had only 4 strikeouts. Then they seen old Ranger Suarez, 5.2 innings, 2 earned runs. He had 6 punch-outs. So I'm not sold on the Mets beating up lefties, guys, as the guys that should have went out there versus this team gave up 2 runs. Okay, that's fucking a good game in my opinion. So there's a few things I've picked up, though, on Japanese pitchers, and I'll adjust if they show. As if you take first pitch, I can look to take this K-prop over, as they don't walk people and they throw first pitch strikes, as that's what they're bred to do. And Shota has a 7% better than league average when he comes down to first pitch strikes. So lineups are out, guys, and I've got 7 guys in this lineup who are league average or worse when it comes to taking first pitch. Now, I also said learning to adjust, as Yoshi has shown me something else, but Shota has shown me even if they do swing at first pitch, if the zone contact is bad, he gonna get them too. Where if the zone contact is freaking, they don't make zone contact on Yoshi, and they do swing first pitch, he still can't strike him out. So, I mean, I'll adjust as they go. Shota's shown me he can adjust. If you don't make zone contact, you're going to have a freaking problem. So we've got 7 guys in this lineup who are going to take first pitch. We've got 5 guys in this lineup who are worse than league average when it comes to zone contact. So just on first pitch take and zone contact alone, we got us an over. Now, we run the whiff, guys, on everybody. We're going to run his pitch mix. He throws 2 pitches pretty much. Fastball, sweeper to a lefty, fastball split to a righty. Pretty simple when we run that, guys. And just on whiff alone, I've come up on 7.75 strikeouts. So, yeah, I'm getting on this over 6.5, guys. Now, I was worried that he slayed 7 and 4 innings the first time he's seen them, as that's what Yoshi did Yoshi did, not because we're talking Shota. So I went through inning by inning, guys, and nope, he got his last 2 in the 7th inning of that game. Now, what I mean, guys, is if you don't want to take first pitch on this man, is if he gets you 0-2, 1-2, 2-2, or 3-2, his least K percentage of them all is 43% of the batters. So you want to take first pitch, guys, to a guy to where if he gets you to 2, he's striking you out damn near every other freaking time? Nah. As well, guys, as we got him at home. And I've talked about this for years, and I picked this up with DeGrom when he first talked about it. The electricity that home crowd can give you. And Shota has talked about it as well. And it shows, guys. He is striking people out at home 7% more than he is on the road. When you have 40,000 fans screaming for fucking death on a 2-strike count, he wants to give it to them. When they don't call a strike, you see it in his face like, give me that fucking strikeout. And I want to bet on a guy like that. It's not a pouting. It's give me that shit. So, everything says no. All the numbers say no. And I'm going to say I'm on the over 6.5 at plus 120.
Oh, I like to hear it, Sharpie. I like to hear it, man.
I think he goes out, has a good game, 6 innings. If he gives up 2 runs, so what? Like, okay, let's get it.
Over 6.5 strikeouts at plus 120 for Sharpie. Troy, on the Cubs' first 5. Are you taking that -0.5, Troy?
I took minus. Yeah, I laid the run line.
Okay,
And another thing I wanted to mention on this game that I didn't get to is the total's moving towards the under. In this price range where you're not a short home favorite, you're a sizable, moderate to large home favorite. This market move to the under is very strong and very favorable for the home team.
Well, you said that you wanted oh no, yeah, it's God, I thought it just moved. It has not. Sorry. It's continue to move towards the under. Because if you saw an 8, what would that imply to you if it moved back?
I just know that the Cubs they profile better with higher totals when it dips into 7.5, and it's really only this season where we're seeing 7.5 for Cub home games, and they have not performed well this season at 7.5. So I'm really hoping we see 8s, and if we see it, I mean, it's just from an entire MLB standpoint, not for the Cubs specifically. It's a great move. For the Cubs, you don't see it very often, so it's hard to tell. Usually when it ticks to the under, it dips below the 8.
I have them all going back up to 8, by the way, Jimmy. I just refreshed, and all the books across the board are back up to 8 for me.
Let me do the same here. My bookie, we know that they're actively trying to beat us. They have, you're right. It's just moved back to 8. That's what I thought.
That's the only book that moved the first 5 away from. I'm pretty sure. If I remember correctly.
It's now. It just moved again. It just moved again 9 minutes ago. You're getting a plus 100 now on the first 5. -0.5.
Yeah, they're the only one. I mean, everybody else, I'm pretty sure came U-shape pretty much everywhere. And yeah, I'll take it. I'll take plus 100. It's better than my -105.
Coogee Cam says if you see a guy drunk with his shirt off in the outfield, that's most likely him. So keep an eye out for Coogee Cam.
All I ask, bro, is on 2 strikes, you join them and you make everybody else who isn't stand the fuck up and cheer this man on.
Jose Bouquett. Sharpie has moved on Imanaga over 6.5 Ks. Troy's on the Cubs first 5 -0.5. What's your plan?
I wanted to come in here and take the Mets, but I'll stay off. I kind of like the over 2, but I'll stay off that as well. So I'm not going to get in front of this train of Cubs cappers here. So I'll be interested.
Jose, you were trashing the matchup I went to with Kyle Hendricks on the mound.
Fucking dominated. Fucking no hitter through 6 innings.
Game to go to. Like Sarah, I didn't pick it. Sarah got it for me. I can't believe that we got to see Hendricks deal like that. I mean, I'm getting the chills just thinking about it because it just reminds me of game. Like I've seen my dad cry 2 times in my life. One of them was when my last football game in my career. The second of them was when the Cubs won the World Series and Hendricks pitched Game 7. It was just fucking awesome to watch.
What was your stat line in your last football game?
My stat line, I had like 6 catches for 80 yards.
Okay, it's respectable. It's respectable. What was your last touchdown?
My last touchdown was a fade route from the 20-yard line that same game.
Well, gosh, you didn't even include the touchdown, Troy. Come on. 6 catches, 80 yards is okay, but when you had the touchdown in there,
I mean, I scored a touchdown every game.
Oh, okay. Sorry.
Whoops. Okay, I am going to move on this game after hearing all of the breakdowns. I'm going to be moving on the over, the full game over. I love the breakdowns. This was not going to be part of my plan. I do want to attack the bullpens as well. And, I mean, if Shota allows 2 runs in 5 innings, I don't know how the over doesn't hit. Honestly,
especially with these bullpens, I mean, full game over, I would agree with, and especially when we see this full run move down. When you get the full run move, and the total doesn't open at 9.5, 10. We're not getting high opens, and it ticks down a full run. It's just too much. I mean, we're talking about 20 to 40% moves in some cases. It's over, right? We've seen it so many times this season.
And that line went from 7.5 to 8 here during the show. It was getting. It wasn't even really moving. Overnight 7.5 opens up at -116. Didn't move it. Like they just forced it right to 8. And not only did they move it to 8, Pinnacle moved it to 8, heavily juiced to the over. That's not a regular. I'm gonna move on this. Right now. Sharpie on Imanaga over 6.5 Ks. Sharpie, let everybody know where they can find your action. Tell them about the Odds Bunch YouTube channel.
Yeah, man, you guys can find me over on the Odds Bunch at 3 p.m. Eastern. I'm only doing it 2 days a week, guys, because it does take a boatload of my freaking time. And it is what it is. But today we do have it. Me and Spin Doc go down for about an hour, and we break down pitchers like none other out there, guys. So we're going to talk 5 of the best pitchers today going. You want legit, thorough fucking breakdowns like you're not going to hear anywhere else. Talking spin rates, breaks, talking pitch by pitch of what batters suck versus and what batters don't. And then we give out our damn bets as well. So come join us Tuesdays and Fridays over there on the Odds Bunch, and I appreciate you. I'll pop on every time lineups are out or I got a bet beforehand, which is not that often.
Oh, the more the merrier. We love it.
Sharpie, you're the man. You're the man, Sharpie. You make me want. I don't bet props, particularly MLB props, because I don't know the sport in depth like that. But God damn it, man, you make me want to bet them.
Man, you just got to put in the work, bro. It's a grind, bro. Like that's why it's like on these days that I do the show, it takes me 3-4 hours to type it. I literally type everything that I read out. So everything that I just talked out, I have to type it all out. And it's not like I come up with it out of my fucking head. I got to look at like 10 different sites to get all that shit. But I know what I'm looking for. So it's time consuming. So I do appreciate those that have found their way over there. And like I said, this was my birthplace, baby. So until next time, I'm Sharpie's Bets, and I fuck fat ladies.
Sounds so nice. So nice. So nice. Troy, my man, are you cool to come back and join us? It's not going to be too long for Mariners Marlins.
Yeah, I mean, I'll wait around for. I'll be out, part of the show. I took off work today. I'm off completely. I'm actually on this next game. It's the only one I didn't mention. I posted about it, hours ago at this point. So
let's rock. Okay, let's rock. Jose, can you set it up because I would like to set up Diamondbacks Phillies because I would like to get my action in.
Of course, yeah. By the way, Jimmy, I haven't told you yet, but Troy's wife wants a segment on the show as well.
I like that. Actually,
and she cashed, right? Troy, the -2.5 first 5.
Yeah.
I'd love that'd be dope. We'd be all over that. Actually, I'm not going to go because this is important. This is important, and I'm excited about this. We have our guy Justin McKelvey with 11 straight winners of the Stacks Play of the Day. 11 straight winners on his birthday. He's on the Diamondbacks over 4.5. Shout out to our guy, Justin McKelvey. Is right there, Mr. McKelvey. Stacks Play today. Diamondbacks over 4.5. Team total over 4.5. Jose, lead us into this one while I get my action.
Sure. My favorite part about that, Troy, was Jimmy right before the show calls me and says, "We gotta wait on it. We gotta wait on it. We gotta do it at the end of the show. It's gonna be really hard for me to wait."
Oh,
but
no,
we gotta wait.
Sorry, I guess we miscommunicated. We have to do it before his play because I was wanted to do it early. So
I thought you were talking about the plays we give him, and I was like, all right, we'll just wait till the end of the show. We'll build it up, and then when it comes, I was like, oh yeah, Jimmy just couldn't wait.
And that's crazy. Hey, congrats, Justin McKelvey, man. What a freaking stud! 11 in a row. That's insane. I'm glad I'm gonna be rocking with you today on this one. But I've been gone for like a week and a half, 2 weeks, just buried in work. So like I haven't been around the community, around the show as much as I usually am, and as much as I want to be. But that's awesome to see. That's awesome.
Yeah, I mean, based off principle, I think I'm gonna tell Justin here. Shout out to you, happy birthday, Justin, as always. But yeah, let's talk about this matchup, a fun one here. NLCS rematch here, Phillies, Diamondbacks. Jordan Montgomery, who maybe, seemingly, has figured it out and has gotten back to a little bit of his form from last year, which I'm excited to see. 5 innings shutout. Well, I should say 5 innings, 1 run not earned against the White Sox. If you're going to do it against anyone, it's probably going to be them. That's nice. 5 2/3, 6 hits, 3 earned runs against the Angels. I'm excited to see what Montgomery does here today because we've seen, Snell sucked, IL. Montgomery's not been good this year so far. And they both, or I should say, at least Snell has said that signing late really fucked them up, hasn't got them in their groove and rhythm. So we'll see how that works out. Now, I too wanted to bet the Diamondbacks here, but before Justin McKelvey's stacks play of the day here, let's talk about the market here, and we'll touch on Taiwan as well. 84% of the bets and 97% of the money on the Philadelphia Phillies here. Everyone may be thinking the same thing. Oh, the Phillies want revenge for getting their ass kicked last year, blah, 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 blah. Taiwan Walker is okay. He doesn't really inspire confidence in me personally. I don't love backing Taiwan, and he, like I said, he's been okay. I like backing the Phillies more than I like backing him. At the Orioles last time out, 5 2/3, 6 hits, 3 earned runs on a home run there. Against the Mets, 5 2/3, 2 hits, 2 runs there. Cardinals got him for 4 earned runs over 5 innings. It's just, real ticky-tack. He has not had a shutout performance this year, which, in an ideal world is what you want to back here. But let's talk about that. Again, 94% of the bets and 97% of the money on that guy. Very interesting. On the total, 67% of the bets, 68, on the over here as well. So 67% of the bets and 68% of the money on the over. And this total has gone up, interestingly enough here. Went from 9, now a 10. 10 on the board here at our friends at Bet Online. So very interesting indeed. And by the way, that 10 is even juiced to the over here. So we might be seeing 10.5s here very shortly. Bookmaker already showing it there. That's fascinating that there's only, again, 68 and 67% of the money in bets on the over, and it's skyrocketing here. Let's give it an old refresh to Swish Analytics and see, because might be some wind blowing out. Sort of 7.5-mile-an-hour winds blowing out straight out to center field, going up to 8, but sticking around 8 to 7 throughout the game. Swish saying those are weak wind factors here as well. So it's very interesting. Troy, perhaps you're on the right side of history and you've bet the over already. What are you on today?
I'm on the Diamondbacks in the first 5.
And sorry to interrupt, but this just moved to 9.5 at Pinnacle 1 minute ago.
Oh boy!
So there's a lot more that meets the eye to this one. Sorry, Troy, take it away.
Is that up from 9 or is that down from 10?
That is down from 10. Not only is it down from 10 in the last 15 minutes, at 18 minutes ago, this over 10 was minus 113. Now it's that back to 9.5, and it's not even ridiculous. The over 9.5 is minus 115. So wow. There's a lot going on with this one, more than meets the eye at this point.
Yeah, I'm gonna have to wait on some of the data I pulled when I heard it ticked up to the 10, because I have some interesting numbers on that. But I just plan on it's pretty simple for me. I'm going to fade the public in this spot. I'm going to fade the worst pitcher on the Phillies roster. I'm going to be backing, I'm going to be betting with the bookies. Obviously, we have the massive starting pitcher advantage. The market's moving our way. It's a rare price range where the Phillies actually are very unprofitable, not just slightly unprofitable, very unprofitable. And on the contrary, D-backs have been very profitable versus elite competition, especially in this price range. Now, when you get down to the Diamondbacks, when their home team's laying minus 200, it's a big difference when you're around this minus 130, 140 range. The profile on this game in the database, there's a bunch of 50-50 spots, which also suggests that the dog you see value on the dog. But the most specific sample, this is before I pulled the information on the move up to 10, is a 6-3 spot. You don't see this very often. All this money on the home team, all this action, the public sentiment on the home team, and the prices in this range. There's not very many times that this market has been available to bet. And it's a 6-3 spot for the road dog with the most specific profile. And honestly, if the total ticks to the over, if we get up to that 10, it's just going to put me way more heavily on the Diamondbacks. I'm on the first 5. I took a money line at plus 110 earlier. You could probably still get a 105 somewhere. But the Diamondback, here's another spot and you don't have it. Okay. So I wanted to say, like I said in the Mets game, the Mets are on the road to road, but they've had a day off in between. We got another road to road spot, but the Diamondbacks have not had the day off, and they've been actually good in this spot. And yeah, I'm on the first 5.
I couldn't agree with Troy more. I think this first 5 spot is so live with Montgomery coming off. Yes, it was a great start against a weak team, but do the Phillies hit lefties that much harder than the Diamondbacks are hitting righties right now? Take it away, Jose, your plan.
Yeah, no, I want to bet the Diamondbacks. I'm already on. I moved on a team total over 4.5 in solidarity with Justin here. But yeah, I'll move on. I was just trying to decide whether first 5 or full game. Their bullpen is pretty fresh still. So I was thinking that, but I'll roll first 5 with you guys.
Yeah, this is a. I wonder if we need to. Let's just see what the line history has been on the first 5. If I can wait and do this after the game. Here, the line on the first 5. It's all over the map. I mean, it moved 10 cents to even money at Will Hill towards the Diamondbacks. Very surprising that the anonymous gambler is not doing that. I don't. So my bookie's not doing that. I'm very surprised at that, but I'm not going to let that get in my head. I'm just going to fire away here on the first 5. I'm right with you. So Jose,
yesterday, Jimmy, I went back and checked. I seen you like my post. I went and looked at your action from yesterday. We were on the Guardians. We were on the unders, and a very similar spot that I'm going to be talking about later.
Yeah, if I had known you were doubling up, I might have doubled up on the Royals A's. I almost didn't bet that. You know what? If I hadn't have lost that first 5 under in the Washington Arizona game, I don't bet that probably. If I had known though, I just didn't know that you were so adamant about it. I would have. It's important info that I wish I knew.
Yeah, and I think I rewatched the show back because I was so interested, and once I seen that, I wanted to see your cap on it. And I seen TJ brought up the only thing that spooked me about that under spot, which was the A's and day games. A's and day games, particularly in the last game of a series. For some reason, it's just like double-digit runs. But hey, we got the bag yesterday.
Yeah, no, it was so easy too. I thought Spence looked great, but Lugo is the best road pitcher in Major League Baseball by a lot right now. I mean, can you believe we're saying that about Seth Lugo?
Yeah, he's going to start the All-Star game perhaps for the American League.
Unbelievable. He's pitching so well. Okay, so I'm going to lock in this first 5. I'm getting a better line at 365 than is available at Penny. But I don't think I need to lock it in, really. I don't know if I need to lock it in. Top sets on Philly, full game -1, better team, and Penn. I get that. Taiwan Walker is not going to be on this baseball team for much longer. So I get what you're saying, though, Top Set, but he is being horrific. 9 home runs allowed in 49 innings. I mean, even how bad Montgomery's been. He's been so bad, and he's only allowed 7 jacks in 57 innings, and he's been worse. I think that we know who Jordan Montgomery is, and he didn't have a spring training. I imagine that these statistics are inflated and will give us nice numbers backing him moving forward. Now, do you want to back any lefty against the Phillies? Maybe you don't. And shout out to our guy Justin McKelvey in the house. So, yeah, I love it. So this is official look for you. You tweeted this out, Troy. What did you get on the Diamondbacks first 5?
I got plus 110.
That's going to be better than I got. Maybe I should just bet this now. Jose, you are already on the team total over 4.5 with stacks?
Yeah, I am now. Yeah, -105, and first 5 is plus 105 for me.
Nate Dogg 420 says, so why not take Arizona money line? Just because of the bullpen advantage. It flips. I have an advantage in the first 5, and the way Christian Walker and the Diamondbacks are hitting righties, I'm not too afraid to go up against the Phillies versus lefties. But it flips as soon as we get to bullpen. Now, all of a sudden, the Phillies have the major advantage, and I don't want to be involved.
And Markel, I know Markel. That's my guy right there. dude, I've been backing the Phillies. I'm a lot like Daby in the sense that I've cashed so much on this Phillies team. It's hard to bet against them, especially at home, especially with all the public sentiment on them. But in this market at this price range, I mean, it just makes a lot of sense for me. And I don't love it. It's not a comfortable feeling, but I'm pressing the button.
I had a few different people message me about Mr. McKelvey's run that he's on right now and cashing with the Yanks team total over when they lose by 12 runs. Guys rolling, man.
I took it in the chops with the Yanks yesterday, bro. I like that spot for them.
So did Omicron.
We've been so Omicron, and I'm starting to get better. We've been talking. Also, my AC's on. We're rolling.
We're back.
We've been talking now for 2 weeks about that Yankees bullpen falling apart.
Yeah.
Oof. I mean, it's real. It's real. It's real. Okay, we're all over this baseball game, and then Troy, you're going to be joining us shortly. You have the Mariners Marlins, which I'm really interested in as well. So Troy Torrence is giving us looks on the first two games on the card. He's on the Cubs first 5 -0.5, and he is on the Diamondbacks first 5. Jose, we roll on.
Yeah, Troy, real quick. I have a quick question for you, Troy, before we go. So are the Phillies going to be the team this year that you back into the ground during the playoffs? You just take them with you. You just bring them down with your playoff stink that you have right now. Wow. Is that the same thing you did with the Mavericks?
I think I'm done with playoffs in general. I think I'm done with playoffs. Like, just I depend so heavily on the database. I feel like I have such a big advantage with it that when I get in the playoffs and I fucking piss away 20, 30 units in some cases, like it was like 30 units in the NBA this season that I just fucking handed back. I probably won't be betting. And the same with the NFL season. I mean, it was like 20 units in the NFL season.
You have the answer. You have the answer in the other room, Troy. You have
by the way,
in the other room.
When playoffs come around in the MLB, I know. Trust me, she's. We've had long discussions about betting on the playoffs, but in the MLB, it'll be easy to not bet the playoffs because NFL season will be here.
Okay. All right. We'll see about that. Troy. We'll see. All right. Beautiful. Wow. I love reminding Troy about the Dallas Mavericks ineptitudes now, especially on parade day. Just incredible.
Yeah, you didn't handle that with Kuth.
No, that was uncouth, as they say.
Do they say that?
They do.
Okay, I just locked in the first 5 plus 105. It's 104 at Penny. I got 105 at 365 for the Diamondbacks first 5. I really like those two bets. They weren't on my radar, although I want to fade Taijuan Walker. Okay, let's roll, fellas. Next up for us is a fascinating game. So, look, I moved on the first 5 under 4 at plus 100. And I don't know, for some sick joy, just beating a line move. Because I have a uncomfortable feeling about Jack Flaherty in this one. I would love to know if his props are listed any different, because 3 straight scoreless road starts, Astros, Rangers, and Red Sox. Now, the Rangers aren't hitting righties. 16 2/3, 19 strikeouts and 2 walks over those 3 starts for Flaherty. But at home, he's not being great. 4.22 ERA, 256 opponents batting average. Now, his K to walk ratio is elite. It's been elite all season long. And Fetty's now on his 5th straight road start. I kind of like it. I kind of like what he's doing. Now, he's not being good on the road here, but you have 2 pitchers who haven't been seen that much by the opposition. You would think that in a interdivisional game, the opposition would be so used to them. That's not the case. I thought Fetty looked very good in that 9-2 win at Arizona. Arizona's ripping the leather off the ball against righties. 6 innings, 8 hits, 2 earned runs, 6 Ks. And I think that the market is telling in this one. And I briefly touched on it off the top of the show, but I was curious, could this be a glorious opportunity for a first 3 plus a half? No way were the books going to allow you to do that. So 365 has Fetty in the White Sox full game plus 145. We go down 10 cents to plus 135. These differences in prices are really important to me. If I heed the advice and really like stay off the side where they're giving you the better price, my ROI would be much better. And I see it at work. So then we go into what the plus a halves are. That also is a sign that Fedde is going to pitch well here today. The first three, which is at plus 120. Now, and another thing about that being a plus 120 is the VIG is enormous on the first threes. They really take you right to the cleaners with it. The first three plus a half is now minus 165, Jose. Remember, I told you it was minus one. What did I say? 55? Minus, it was unbettable. Yeah. Now it's 10 cents more. So I am going to bet the White Sox and look at that. Look at Rod Zawacki. White Sox 10-star play today as Tigers are 0-11, last 11 at home following a road loss. And DC Capper on the White Sox plus 152. So I don't know if I can go quite that far with it. I want it to be 1-0 White Sox after 3 kind of a thing. Let's talk about it though. 88 Fahrenheit feels like 92, 5.5 miles per hour in, gets up to 8.7 and it switches directions, but then it comes back in. So weather is not really a big deal. Then let's get into the cash flow. When we have a cash flow situation here, this is a first 5 up right now. So let's just go to Bet Online's first 5. They have Flaherty at minus 165. Flaherty opened up at minus 158. So there has still been 7 cents of movement there. So I'm surprised that the first 5 plus a half. I guess it's because the under is moving, which we will take a look at right now. The full game is minus 169 for the Tigers. Opened up at minus 163, so 6 cents of movement. And then when we get to the total in this one, the full game total is at 7.5, minus 109 to the under. This opened up at 7.5. Now it was plus money to the under, and it wasn't moving at all. And then at 3 a.m, this moved to 8. It's back at 7.5. I've got something doesn't feel right about Flaherty here. The Pinnacle has the under 4 at minus 123. When I moved on it at plus 100, it was maybe 12:31 in the morning, and it was minus 109 at Pinnacle. And I guess I just knew I was going to beat the move, even though I didn't feel comfortable about it. Mr. Heat says I can only back Fedde at home. Look, I get that, Mr. Heat. Fedde comes off a spectacular road start against a team that's hitting righties harder than anybody else in the league, and this is his 5th straight road start. I'm going to move on the White Sox first 3, Jose. But let's take a look at the cash. The cash has 75% of tickets, 78% cash on the over, 88% of tickets, and 95% of the cash on the Tigers. Yeah, I'm going to move.
It's interesting that the first 5 line too has moved towards the Tigers in this game. And the full game hasn't.
Yeah.
So that's what kept me out first 5, and that's why I was like, maybe I do need to take full game here.
But it's still more expensive to take, obviously to stay away from the White Sox bullpen. It's still more expensive to take the White Sox first 5, even though there's been that slight line move. And I can't track Pinnacle's first 5 line moves. So sorry, keep rolling, my man.
Yeah, I wanted the White Sox here as well. I jumped off the Flaherty bandwagon this year, and he's pitching phenomenally. But yeah, how long is that going to last? I don't know. I wanted to bet them first 5, obviously, like I said, because we've had this conversation with our guy Billy Friedrich. Shout out to you, Billy. The White Sox are not a bad first 5 team at all. They're actually been profitable this year. So I definitely looked at White Sox first 5 here as well, maybe even plus a half. But I've been kind of sketched out with some of the line movements. Again, first 5 specifically. Like if it didn't move at all, I'd definitely be on White Sox plus a half or money line here. But I'm a little worried, so I think I'm just going to stay off, I think.
All right, let's roll. We have LJ from HTown in the house. I forgot to put it on Twitter, but he is another special guest for us today. He is going to be joining us for easily one of the most fascinating caps on the board. Grayson Rodriguez, Jake Bloss. Bloss has been amazing in the minors. Orioles, Astros, LJ from H-Town joining us for that spot.
I'm glad that LJ from H-Town could join us on Celtics Championship Day Parade Day. Very, very glad. Very glad.
Ramon Scott in the house says White Sox up a dime in the first 5 money line this season. And Joe Jurgen says White Sox lineup not much worse than Detroit's.
Yeah, I agree with that too. It's just like we have to scratch across the run with them.
Morgan Spooner says Eric Fetty isn't a stud rookie. No, we've been capping him for years, but he was always extremely highly thought of coming, after the draft, extremely highly thought of. And the Nats spent a lot of time with him. They kept throwing him. Maybe they just, they were tied because of the Strasburg contract, and things like that. But, everybody been talking about his regression. Other people are talking about who can get their hands on him at the trade deadline. So, but before we move on, Jose, do you think that I'm better off eating 20 cents of juice or so with the first 5 plus a half than I am on the first 3 money line?
I have first 5 plus a half at even money, and you said that first 3 was what? Minus like 1. What?
Well, that's amazing you have that, because I haven't even looked at what Penny's holding, but the 365s, that costs minus 120.
Really? First 5?
They screw you on the first 5 plus a half.
Wow. Yeah, that makes you want to bet it right there, honestly.
Shout out to Jason Work in the house. Let me just see what.
That's crazy.
Let me see what Penny has for this one. So if I can get the White Sox first 5 plus a half with, no vig, that's the move. Minus 107. You're getting even money?
Yeah, even money on Bet Online.
I'm not sure what's better here. Gifted Cartel and DC Cap are looking at the Nerfy here. Okay, I've got to make this decision. I'm not doubling up on it.
Well, Joe has an interesting question for you, Jimmy. Maybe this will help your decision making out. He's asking, has anyone ever cooked a steak over a flowing outdoor stream before?
Oh, that is a good question, but we must only use it for good.
Yeah, of course. I'm just get your mind going here. Get your mind thinking a little bit.
It's funny. I couldn't stop thinking about her for some reason. Like seriously. Like I was really thinking about her.
Were you just laying down at night and just being like, wow?
No, I wasn't at all, because I've got COVID. Like I'm not looking to pleasure myself, but I'm sick. I feel shitty and sick.
Sure.
But that ass. Good God. I mean, it was as if it was floating above the water, like Jesus.
I think it was, actually. I don't think there was a drip of water on it. Well, now we just need Mikey Money's ribeye play today so we can, perhaps examine.
Chase J says, do you guys see a bigger gap between Sox bats and Tiger bats, or Fetty and Flaherty? I guess the Tigers bats... Okay,
they're both pretty close.
Look, I've not seen Flaherty shoving at home. I'm only seeing him shove on the road. Why is he not pitching well in Detroit? Why is Gausman pitching so well on the road and failing at home? Maybe there's no real thought, like a real reason why, but it keeps happening. It just keeps happening. 3 straight scoreless road starts, and then coming home. That's the type of situation where I just Troy saying Tiger bats are trash. And Jake Burns says real cool sexualizing women. Thank you. Yeah, for 44 years. Oh, he says that's why he does it. Okay, I thought Jake Burns was all over me. I thought he was dissing me. Sorry to be aroused by the beautiful bodies of women.
I thought you were gonna mention Steve asking us how much Fauci's lining our pockets right now. I wish Fauci was lining our pockets with this COVID relief money or whatever. So, it's a shame.
Yeah. Look, it sucks. Yeah, it's not that bad. It's just like a cold, but it's 11 days of this shit. Okay. Wow. 25K, Jerry? Did Fat Wally just win 25K? Is that what you're saying?
That'd be Jerry. Let us know.
Please let us know.
Dope shit right there. If he just pulled out 25K.
Saturated said that's someone's grandma. We're not even talking about the grandma, Saturated. We're talking about someone else here. Although we could talk about, but let's not. Only when necessary. We can't just be firing these beautiful women on our stream nonstop. Okay, let's roll. I've got to decide between White Sox first 3 and first 5+1/2, and I'm starting to lean towards first 5+1/2, honestly. Okay, let's roll on to the next spot on the board for us, Jose. Oh, she'll be someone's grandma someday, right? Hopefully.
That's true. Yeah, hopefully.
6:40 p.m. Eastern. We have the Tampa Bay Rays 36-39, 17-16 on the road at the Pittsburgh Pirates 36-38, 18-18 at home. We're in PNC Park in Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania. Let's go to the
Who's
weather.
the starter for the Pirates?
Oh, don't you think Luis Ortiz is getting his first start of the year?
I didn't have anyone listed, so I didn't. So I didn't have any lines or anything. I see, obviously, RotoWire has him as the primary.
Oh, yeah. So it's Mlodzinski. Who the hell is Mlodzinski? He's listed by the books. So Luis Ortiz is going to come in after Mlodzinski. And Luis Ortiz hasn't been given a start all year. He looked great in that last appearance in the thin air in Colorado. He's been incredible at home this year. You know, Luis Ortiz never gets strikeouts. His K-to-walk ratio is always a problem, but he gets a lot of soft contact, 2.29 ERA, 162 opponents batting average. If the Pirates didn't have these two young superstar pitchers, he would be in the starting rotation. Going up against Ryan Pepio, I don't know what to do with Pepio anymore. I think that I might be too high on Pepio. It's very hot in Pittsburgh, 95 Fahrenheit, 66.5 miles per hour to left field, dies down to 5.1 miles per hour. I'm going to get could you get Mlodzinski's numbers up here for us, Jose, and how long you expect him to go? Markel says maybe just an under. Neither of these teams are hitting. Rays versus righties, 212, 636 OPS. Pirates versus righties, 237, 663 OPS. And then the bullpens, the Pittsburgh bullpen has been bad all year long, really, really struggling, allowing a ton of home runs. They've allowed 26 home runs since May 15th with 4.60 ERA. They're just, not to be trusted. And the Rays bullpen is just mediocre. When I thought it would start getting very good, it hasn't. Rocco Rogers says Pepio has been an outs monster this year on his prop. Last game, his prop said he'd get it, and they dropped it really low, so I stayed off, and he got hit hard. I think he can make a comeback today. He got touched for 5 earned runs and 3 jacks and a 9-2 loss at the Braves against a Braves team that's not hitting. And he'd been lights out on the road all year long and struggling at the Trop. I can't get a feel. I think he's a really good pitcher. But what does it matter what I think? I mean, we have numbers for days to study this stuff, and he's cost me money when I've backed him. This total is sitting at 8.5 at -116. This opened up at 8, and it opened up at 8 at 10:15 this morning. Jose, it lasted there for 3 minutes. 3 minutes, and then moved to 8.5. And on the money line, we have these Pirates sitting right now at +103. They opened up at +102, so +102 to +103. And then when we get to the cash flow here for this one, you have 98% of tickets, 90% cash on the over. Now, we're only talking about 3,216 tickets. Then you have 54% of tickets and 63% of the cash on the Pittsburgh Pirates. And another thing that, again, I don't think we count this as a bullpen day. So I don't think we need to get in it. I think Luis Ortiz can go 5 easily. So, Jose, take it away.
Yes, Ortiz will probably, like you said, go the bulk of these innings, and it's very funny trying to find this guy because there's like 4 Luis Ortizes. But Cameron,
I've got him locked down. I want Mlodzinski.
Yeah, I know Cameron's going to go 1-2 innings, so it will be mostly Ortiz here. So that's going to be very interesting to see. I stayed off this game. It's interesting to see the Pirates being short home dogs here, but as Troy Torrence says, I'm told not to bet short home dogs from +120 to -102. So I stayed off. I lean Rays, and I lean Pepio to have a nice start. But shout out to P. Loshak, and someone mentioned that these PNC unders. I wouldn't be surprised at all if this was a low scoring game.
Troy Torrence leaning to the over. I'm going to stay off of this spot. Don't feel comfortable here. We got lots of action thus far, so I'm going to stay off of this spot. Let's move on to the next spot on the board and welcome back our next guest. Fresh off board sweepage yesterday and looking to continue it today. Look at that. We got Michael Piccioni in the house. Says, think I could get a birthday pick. Appreciate all you do. Michael, happy birthday, man. We have now Justin McKelvey, Coogee Cam, and Michael Piccioni all celebrating their birthday. Yes, my birthday pick for you is the Winnipeg Blue Bombers. The Winnipeg Blue Bombers -2. Bombers -2 is what I believe the best bet on the board. Woo Rizza saying bounce back spot for Pepio. Let's bring on the man who swept the board yesterday, and we need it on his climb back to the black. Coming to us from Dallas, Texas star of Medicate Mondays. Please welcome the Magic Man, Mr. Dabber Cadabra, to the show. Dabby, how are you?
Good, man. You know, it's Friday. I love Fridays because this is just the start of the series for the weekend for the MLB. So it's always a good day to really lock in on Fridays and get in, you know, what you're going to be looking at over the weekend too.
And you've been crushing Saturdays on Say Hey Plays of the Day right here. Another shout out to Michael Piccioni on his birthday. Happy birthday, man. Thank you for hanging with us as part of it. Daby Cab, let's roll here. You have your play of the day in this one, and break it down in a second. BJ also moving on. BJ also best bet Braves money line for our friend BJ. Let's get that copied and pasted here. BJ on this one as well. Braves 41-31, 17-18 on the road at the New York Yankees, 51-26, 23-12 at home. We're at Yankee Stadium in the Bronx, baby. God, I'd like to be in New York today. Let's take a look at the weather in the Bronx. 89 Fahrenheit, feels like 91, 11.1 miles per hour, right to left, slightly in, and then it becomes fully in. That's an important thing, that why I like Swish a lot, because if you were looking at other sites that would just tell you it's 11.1 miles per hour, right to left across the diamond, you wouldn't know that within 45 minutes, this is straight in, and it's in for the rest of the game. Now, it does die down a few miles per hour, but it's straight in. Let's get to the line history here for this one. We have a huge pitching matchup that I was so excited for everybody to talk about, Sale and Rodon. The Yankees open up at even money, and they move to -112. With the way this bullpen is pitching, if you like the Yankees, would you want to only focus on them first five? We'll look at the price difference there. On the total, this opened up at 8, and it moved to 7.5. Interestingly enough, that was not the first move. This spent a lot of time at 8.5. The first time it moved to 8.5 was 1:06 in the morning, moved back to 8. And then it stuck at 8.5. It was at 8.5 until 9 this morning. So a late move towards the under is very fascinating. Take a look at the cash flow for this next spot. We have 97% of tickets, 96% of cash on the over. That was where it was initially moving. We have 57% of tickets and 89% of cash on the New York Yankees. Let's get into the I did that. Let's set the X's nose up. Sorry, Mikey Money got my attention here. And I can't wait for tonight. Can't wait for tonight. Joe Yeager said, say what? Jose?
You guys gonna be live for it?
No, I'm gonna. I'm
Oh yeah, you got the COVID. My bad.
Yeah, I'm gonna try to be good for Monday. For if there is a game
7, that'll be interesting. You know what?
You saying there's gonna be a game 7, huh?
If there is, I will be live for it, even if I'm still. I mean, if my lungs are feeling a little better, so it should be fine.
Shout out to Mikey Money. I've got something for Mikey. I'll be right back.
Saturated says the spite meter is barely registering. It is barely registering. You know, I'm winning. The Oilers aren't winning the series. The Panthers are. My breakdown is winning. Mikey Money's breakdown is losing. Now, can Mikey Money's breakdown come back and win? Sure. But right now, I'm winning. I don't need to take any risks. I'm a fucking winner right now. Now that can change. All right, back to this Chris Sale spot. 9-2, 2.98 ERA, 0.94 WHIP, 99 Ks in 81 2/3, 13 walks, 6 homers. He's been great this year. Coming off a 7-3 win at home versus the Rays, who've been hitting lefties hard. 7 innings, 5 hits, 2 earned runs, 7 Ks, 2 walks. He's been very good on the road all year. 222 opponents batting average, 41 Ks over 31 1/3. Carlos Rodon coming off getting lit up and smoked by the Red Sox. 5 innings, 7 hits, 5 earned runs, 7 Ks, and 3 walks. Didn't look good, but he's been lights out at home. 4-0, 2.30 ERA, 182 opponents batting average, 32 Ks and 6 walks. He's been lights out in the Bronx. The Braves are not hitting lefties with power, 247, 693 OPS. Yankees are only hitting lefties with a little bit more power, 233, 734 OPS. And this Braves bullpen is now so much better than the Yankees bullpen. How did this happen? I'm not going to look up. Here we go. Daby Cab, take it away. Braves, Yankees in the Bronx.
Yeah, what a game we got here, man. And I know you like to talk about, the psychology of stuff sometimes. I want to talk about, Chris Sale. We know Chris Sale is a high energy guy. And if you look at, I always say this, a pitcher's either progressing or regressing. I haven't said that in a while, but I know you remember me saying that the first time I came on and talked baseball with you. Yeah. And I stand by that. That's, I tell my pitchers that I work with that same thing. You're either getting better or you're getting worse. There's no such thing as staying the same when you're pitching, right? It's one or the other. And Chris Sale, back-to-back starts, 7 innings, only gave up the 2 earned runs. 7 innings, 2 earned runs is great. And I'm going back to the Oakland where he blew up a bit. This is the psychology of what I was talking about. He's a high-energy guy. You do not bet on Chris Sale when he's pitching against a team like the Athletics. You just don't do it. You understand what I'm saying? Because it's like he feeds off that adrenaline. And when you got a team like that, there's no adrenaline running. So I'm going to give him a pass on that. Even though it was a terrible start, I'm going to give him a pass on that. And then if you look at what Chris Sale did the whole month of May, it just absolutely outstanding. A .56 ERA, struck out 45 hitters, only 2 walks through the whole month. So that pretty much covers, is he getting better or is he getting worse? Chris Sale has been getting better and better. So he's sitting at a 2.98 ERA on the season with a .94 WHIP, which is outstanding, but he's getting better. Right? Rodon on the other side, I think is doing the exact opposite right now. I still think he's pitching good, but he's faltered just a little bit. In this month, he's got a 4 ERA. That's down from the 3.28 ERA on the season. He's got a 1.11 WHIP, a 9-3 record in 15 starts. So he's been outstanding. But like I said, he's getting more and more vulnerable as the season goes on right now. So I do like the Braves a lot in this spot, Jimmy. I was really close to just taking the Braves on the money line, but the more and more I broke into this game, I'm with my prop with Ozuna. I mean, he's on a tear, and you're giving me 1.5 hits, runs, and RBIs with Ozuna. That doesn't make any sense. He's covered that 6 out of the last 8 games. This is a big game. Big players step up in big games. Right now, Ozuna is their best hitter. I mean, he's leading the team with 85 hits, 20 home runs. He's got a .316 average. 390 on base percentage. Like I said, he's covered this prop 6 out of the last 8 games. I know Rodon can pitch, but the line don't make sense to me. -110 for over 1.5 hits, runs, RBIs for Ozuna.
Locked and loaded. Getting a lot of love here, Jose, for your Oilers outfit.
We strike oil.
Yeah, I was talking. I saw Jose smiling about something. I was like, man, what the fuck is
he
this?
was smiling because Rem Mo said, I will not say anything disparaging to Jose for the entire, and then said for the next 10 minutes.
Yeah, and I'm gonna keep track of that, Rem. I'm looking at the clock. If you say something disparaging, Rem, I might have to give you a sussy. Who knows?
LJ from HTown says Ozuna also coming off a no-hit game. Jose, take it away. Your thoughts on these two pitchers that you know so well.
Yeah, I love the Braves here today, and I'm going to back them full game money line here. I got -105, I believe. Let me double check that. So the last time Chris Sale pitched against, I lied, it's +101. So line's slightly moving back towards the Yankees there. That's a little worrisome. But the last time Christopher Allen Sale pitched against the New York Yankees, he walked off the mound with a broken ass finger. I think there's going to be revenge in his heart. I think there's going to be hate in his heart. And I think he comes out motivated to pitch well here. And I looked at his previous starts against the Yankees. None of them have been good. But I can also say that these last like 3 or 4 years of Chris Sale have just been injuries and him not being the same. And this is the closest he's been to his peak in a long time. But his last few starts, he is 0-5 against the Yankees in his last 3 starts. And none of them have been good. But I believe in that. The 2018 Chris Sale that dominated him comes out here today, pitches well. And Rodon, I'm starting to feel like that the first few, first months of this season, little fool's goldie by Mr. Carlos Rodon. He's starting to wilt. If the Red Sox, who I've said many times are not good against lefties, can get to you, then I think that the Braves can here. And by the way, Braves against lefties right there with the Yankees against lefties. 110, 109 weighted runs created plus back-to-back with each other this month so far. So it'll be a fun game. I'm on the Braves here, full game, plus 101.
Braves, full game, plus 101. I'm going to stay off of this spot comfortably. Last night was interested, like probably anybody, on whether these guys would shove, and I looked at the first 5 under, and it was moving to the over, and now that it's moving to the under, I if there's not when it's bouncing back and forth, and you got the U-shaped movement, I'm never comfortable. So I'm just going to stay off and cheer you guys on. Cabby has the Hawk play of the day. Ozuna over 1.5 hits, runs, and RBIs.
I like how you say that.
Well, she's the best of us.
In baseball too, like I would always, anytime like somebody threw a ball 4 and it's in the dirt, you spit on that shit. I mean, you spit on the ground. If they throw a ball 4 in the dirt, you better spit on that shit. So I thought about that when she did it. I was like, yeah, it's perfect. We'll have a Hawk Tua play of the day.
Yeah, she's the best of us, and hopefully one day she can be in the Oval Office making the most important decisions that America has to make.
Yeah, this is one of those situations where Jimmy is a Canadian, I'm a Venezuelan, and Cab is the American here, and this is just beautiful to see.
Well, she is. She's the best of you guys, and I found myself interested right away.
Yeah. I did too. I found myself immediately interested, and then at whatever given point, sometime in the evening, I will find myself no longer interested at all.
All right. Daby Cab, excellent work. And Daby Cab, you are back in business with us in Brewers Padres as well. Rocco says, can you add her to Daby's play of the day graphic? Yes. Yeah, we can do it, but we have to watch certain things, right? You're muted, Jose.
Motherfucker, we have to make a play of the day graphic for Daby. That would help to begin with.
Yeah, but we could do it, but we have to watch so that it's not because you can get tagged for some of those things, but not that. I don't think not that it's of a sexual nature, just that YouTube, you can't use the YouTube clip, right, Jose?
Yeah. You have to walk around the line of copyright. But shout out to her. Maybe Cab, you should just try to find her and put her on Medicaid Monday.
I mean, we're in love, so I'll ask.
Yeah, or get her on. Yeah, well, get her on every show we have.
Yeah, I'll try and get her on if we can. Hell yeah, I'll ask. Yeah. I mean, what's the worst somebody can say is no?
Good luck, Cab. Good luck.
Hey, I want to address one thing about my bet here.
Sure.
I do know Ozuna's 1 for 10 in this spot, but listen, these numbers go back to when fucking he was with St. Louis and fucking Rodon was with the White Sox. Like, we're talking about 2 different players right now, and so I'm okay with those numbers. The recent numbers aren't there to scare me away. That's all I'd say.
Shout out to our guy Rodney Barton as well. Nats money line, White Sox plus 1.5, Rays money line, Angels plus 1.5, and Padres first 5 minus a half.
Huh.
We
Jason.
are
Jason, come on.
Yeah,
Jason.
It's hard to really explain what you're missing here, but just know that the greatest person in our generation has come to the forefront of society in the last 48 hours. And richly deserved.
TV interviews are a beautiful thing.
And shout out to Pookie. And that's one lucky guy.
I don't know who that is, but
it's me.
Pookie had that shit spat on, man. All right, let's roll on. Daby Cab will be joining us here shortly. Daby Cab, excellent work. Daby Cab is on Ozuna over 1.5 hits, runs, and RBIs. Oh, the ribeye play today is in.
Wow.
Matt Olson plus 175, and we get a chance to play the ribeye video. So nice, Jose. Play it twice. Thank you. That was a problem. Good God.
I mean, you said play it twice.
Oh, yeah. But the first time the play was covering.
So we have to play it a third time then, I guess?
Yeah. It's just to roll out of the bushes there, just hammered, with my A's jersey unbuttoned and a Twixer of some kind of Jamaican rum. That's what I
thought you were just gonna say you wanted to be the Rock there because she was sitting on a rock.
Oh no! I'll take care of myself. Move on to the next spot on the board, but the sorry, did I copy and paste it here? The Matt Olson ribeye play of the day is in.
Yeah, we forgot why we played the video there for a second. We're like,
well, I'm at Heat says it's a kebab, not a ribeye. Yes, I know.
That's close enough.
It was. There's something on the barbecue.
Yeah, okay. We weren't really looking at the meat.
No, I did. I knew it wasn't perfect, but it was close enough. We move on. Next up for us, Jose's Boston Red Sox in action. We already heard from and Joe T's best bet was on that over 8 in Braves Yankees, by the way. Over 8 Braves Yankees. It's now 7.5. Here we go. Boston Red Sox, Cincinnati Reds. We're at Great American Ballpark in Cincinnati, Ohio. These Reds are coming alive. We've really seen them step up. We didn't expect them to be a bad baseball team, and certainly what they looked like, through their first 55 games, 60 games even. But they are rolling now. 18 and 19 at home, 4 games under 500 on the season. The Red Sox are playing very good baseball. They're an extremely athletic baseball team, and they're playing old school baseball out there. Let's take a look at the weather here in Cincinnati, Ohio. In Great American Ballpark, we have 96 Fahrenheit, 5.2 miles per hour to left field. It's always out, just 5 miles per hour, but it's hot and sticky, and we know this ball will be flying. But do these teams have enough power? And when it comes to Red Sox versus righties, they don't. But Andrew Abbott, a very good lefties on the mound, and the Red Sox are raking against lefties. 278, 779 OPS. Mally Mal looking at the first 5 over, and Nate Dogg looking at the Reds money line. Let's take a look at the line history here for this one. We have the Cincinnati Reds. I've got the first 5 up, so why don't we just touch on this first 5 total? This opened up at 5. It was juiced heavily to the under, and it started moving towards the over. This over became juiced at one point. Now it's at 4.5, juiced to the over. Heavily juiced to the over. Let's go to the full game here. From a full game perspective, we have this sitting at a 9.5, juiced to the under. This opened up at 9 at 4:57 p.m. and it didn't go to 9.5, until 11:30, and then it was a legit 9.5. Almost a pick 'em at either way. And then it stayed at 9.5, and it dropped back down to 9 at 9:42, and then back up to 9.5 over the last hour and a half. So we have U-shaped movement on this one. When we get to the money line here in the Cincinnati Reds spot, we have the Reds sitting at plus 103. Opened up at minus 108. So we've had 12 cents of movement towards the Boston Red Sox. When we take a look at the cash flow for this one, we have 46% of the tickets and 81% of the cash on the Cincinnati Reds. I mean, that says so much to me, and maybe I'm going to have to move on this game now. 62% of tickets, 70% cash on the over. J-Dub, my man, love that you rocked with me on that. Let's go. And I think the Bombers are the best bet on the board today. So Cutter Crawford, 3-6, 3.54 ERA, 1.15 whip. He's been good all year. 10 home runs allowed is not what he wants, over 86 and a third, but he's been very good all year. He allowed 2 jacks in that win at home versus the Yankees, but you watch that entire game. 6 innings, 3 hits, 3 earned runs, 9 Ks and 1 walk. He's been very good on the road all year, 2.62 ERA And we're dealing with the Reds team that doesn't hit righties. Now, you could say that Andrew Abbott gives an advantage on the mound against Cutter Crawford. Could you? How big of an advantage is it? His last start, he allows 3 earned runs over 5 and a 3-1 loss at the Brewers. Now he comes home where he's been good, but not great. 25 Ks, 13 walks over 32 and a third, 252 opponent's batting average. Take it away. Now, we know what the Reds bullpen has been doing, but the Red Sox bullpen's not bad. Take it away for us here, Jose. Red Sox, Reds.
Sox, dude. Sox here today. Red Sox money line -113. Riding the hot hand. Red Sox have been good against lefties. Even they've been good. And now the difference with their the change, I guess, has been Cedar Rafaela has been emerging as an actually very not very good, but a good hitter. That has been great. Anytime a lefty comes up, Tyler O'Neill rakes. That's why I shouted out good old Rocco Rogers, over 1.5 bases for O'Neill and +135 for the RBI. Rocco, I want to add that onto my play, honestly. I do, and I might. But I like Red Sox full game here. They win this game. It's a little scary betting them against the lefty, like I've said. But like I said, and Rafael has been great. Connor Wong has one of the highest averages for a catcher this year. And Tyler O'Neill's been great. And we have Bargain Bob, Rob Snyder, who's been hitting lefty as well. So I'm excited to see what this team continues to do. I believe in them. The only, semi-worry is Cutter Crawford. He had his ebb and flow, and he was it seemed like he was just a little tired. They give him an extra day of rest. He pitches well against the Yankees as he usually does. So I'm excited to see what happens here. The total is a little low for being in Cincinnati, honestly, but I'm excited to see what this Red Sox team does. So money line for me, -113.
I get it. Excuse me.
I do expect some regression from the Reds. Great this month so far, but I think it'll fall back.
I wonder if we should focus on the first 5 because of how good that the Reds bullpen has been.
I think that that Reds bullpen is not going to be as good at the end of the month. They have currently this month, they have a 2.59 ERA, 5th best in the league, but their FIP a 3.41 and expected FIP a 3.85. That FIP 6th best, so still not horrible, but I do think they fall back here, and it'll keep getting worse for them. Is basically what I'm saying. By the way, Jimmy, our favorite team, the Washington Nationals, their bullpen ERA at 3.69. Their FIP 3.25. So their bullpen going to come through eventually, it seems. And shout out to William Bardo.
Shout out to William Bardo in today's horse race. $100 up for grabs in today's horse race, and William Bardo is in. $100 on this horse race. I love it. $100 thanks to our friend Jason Meyer, the El Dorado custodian. So, TJ, are you moving on this?
TJ's best bet was the Red Sox.
Oh, good. How did I miss that?
That was what he said. That was his first thing he put in here. That was his donation.
Oh, of course. You're absolutely right.
Yeah.
And Mikey Money, your grandma wearing your sister's panties again play today, which we've not made a video for, although there has been discussion, and all we know is that she'll likely be involved. Also, she's a little less likely to be involved. And
look at that foot.
Oh,
that's a lot of veins right there.
Well, she was a professional kicker. She played in the NFL.
Sure.
If you know it, but yeah.
Sure.
And then she's a hundo involved. I mean, she's so involved.
That last one kind of looked like a football, though, if we're going to be honest. I thought you were going to tell me that she in a previous life was indeed a Wilson football.
Your grandma wearing your sister's panties again play today is the Mets. The New York Mets and the under 8. Oh, no. I moved on the over 8 in that one. Not good. Not good going up against Mikey. I don't like seeing that. I don't like seeing that at all. So we were asked, forget someone in our chat that we care about asked what the play was for that Cubbies game. And I'll go over all of the Cubs action here right now because we had a lot of insight on it. We had Sharpie, who's 6-2 on the show. Sharpie moved on Imanaga over 6.5 Ks. Ron Crawford spreadsheet play today is the Mets. Dommy Gunn is on the Mets, but Troy's on the Cubs first 5 -0.5. So there we go.
You know, Mikey just sent me a text message with a good suggestion for Daby Cab's play of the day video. It's not bad. It's not bad at all. I like it.
Well, I'm looking forward to hear all about it. I'm going to join you with the Red Sox, though, Hondo. I'm going to join you with the Red Sox.
And by the way, Justice McKelvey, this indeed is your birthday pick from me, the Boston Red Stockings. Full game money line. Let's ride, Justin. And Rocco, I'm going to do it. I'm going to add Tyler O'Neill over 1.5 bases here as well. Smashes lefties. Believe in him. Riding some Canadian momentum here as well. Probably had an easy time getting through the border. Great time.
Ricky Bobby sent me a grandma pic.
Oh yeah, no, I did get that same picture from Ricky Bobby. I forgot about that actually. I was going to tell you. I was like, I find it hilarious that people that watch our shows just send us pictures of old ladies at times. I'm like, you know what? Thank you, Ricky Bobby.
I can't find it. Why don't you get that up for us as we break down the next spot here? I'd like to see that here on the big screen. Let's move on to our next spot on the board and bring back our guy, my co-host and bankroll Blitz. I can't wait to see what he does this year with another year of NFL under our belts. He's got best bet number 2. Actually, best bet number 3, right? Because he got us on the Diamondbacks as well. Please welcome our friend from Chicago, Mr. Troy Torrence, to the show. Troy,
Illinois.
What's up, boys? What's up?
Troy, This is a fascinating baseball game here, and I'm very interested in action because I don't believe in George Kirby's road stats. I think that George Kirby is pitching at an elite level, and it doesn't matter right now if he's at home or on the road. His last 4 starts have been absolutely spectacular. 24 innings, 4 earned runs, 27 strikeouts, 3 walks, and 0 home runs allowed. Coming off a 7-5 win at home versus the Rangers. In those 4 starts included, I think, 2 road starts. At least 1, but I believe 2. His last start, 6 innings, 3 hits, 1 run, wasn't earned. 6 Ks, 2 walks, 7-5 win at home versus the Rangers. Going up against Trevor Rogers, coming off a 4-0 loss at the Nationals. Trevor Rogers, 5.09 ERA, 1.62 whip here. Trevor Rogers is only 26. I feel like he's a 33-year-old journeyman. At home, he's been horrific this year. 291 opponent's batting average, 35 Ks and 20 walks. Not the K to walk ratio you want. Now, the Mariners have really low numbers, hitting 194 against lefties since May 15th, but 630 OPS isn't bad. And the Marlins are hitting righties okay, but with lacking of power, 248, 661 OPS. So here we go. Sports Money, Mikey Money says, Dogs on a 2 or more game winning streak are 0-15 straight up if their starter is off a quality start and it's not the last game starter. He's on the Mariners money line and -1.
Hey, Mike M, what's the under trend in that sample? I'm curious.
So here we go. From a line history standpoint, we know that the roof will be closed. So let's go to line history. We have the Mariners at -162. This is a real fascinating line because it opened up at -153 yesterday at 5 p.m. and it didn't move. It wasn't moving for me. I couldn't get confident on the road favorite. Then it started moving. Right when the show popped off. It got up to -166. Now it's at -162. 9 cents of movement. I don't know if that's enough. We're going to see what the ticket count is. I don't know if that's enough. From a total standpoint, we moved to a 7.5 from an 8. Oh, I thought it was from an 8. Pinnacle never opened it at 8. Pinnacle opened it at 7.5. Now it's juiced to the over. So we've had 8 cents of movement to the under. 8 cents of movement to the under. 8 cents of movement to the favorite. Let's take a look at cash flow here for this one. From a cash flow standpoint, we have, these Seattle Mariners, we have 99% of the tickets, 99% of cash on the over. Then you have 81% of tickets and 99% of cash on the Mariners. Tricky. Best bet from our guy, Troy Torrence. Take it away.
Sorry about that. Yeah,
No way.
this is a spot I've been following very closely as it relates to the market environment. So we got home dogs. You know, the sharp trap really started my infatuation with this trend that I'm looking at right here. Looking at this home dog with a total less than 8. So let's just start with that filter right there. Home dog between plus 120 and plus 160, total less than 8 is 29 and 12 to the under. That's 71%. If the home dog also has a win percentage of less than 40%, which we do right here with the Marlins, 15 and 4 to the under. And if the market is also moving towards the road team in that sample, which it is today, 11 and 1, 92% to the under. So on top of looking at the market in its entirety, I like to look at both sides because you get two very different stories. Looking at the Marlins in that type of sample that I'm talking about, home dog, total less than 8, they're actually 7 and 1 to the over. But if you go into that sample specifically, you'll find that it was early in the season when the bullpen was blowing up consistently. We've talked about how the bullpen, Jimmy, you're the one that pointed me to this and made me realize like I had to look at this metric. The bullpen for the Marlins is getting better. We expect them to regress. They're not great, but they're definitely better than what they were early in the season. And then you look at some of the games where just extra innings, push the game into extras, and they got over the total in extras. So you have a 7-1 trend for the Marlins specifically in that profile to the over, but the Mariners 100% to the under with this type of market on the road, 5-0 to the under. And which side is more dominant? It reminds me of the game yesterday between the A's and the Royals. Lugo is a starting pitcher. Kirby is a starting pitcher. That's the team that I'm going to favor in this type of market. So I think the Mariners are going to drag this team through the mud and make them play their game. I doubled up on a similar spot yesterday with KC in Oakland, and I really believe Kirby is one of the most impressive pitchers I've watched all season. I doubled up on the under. I got first 5 under 4 at -110 and full game under 7.5 at -110. And this is definitely a market you need to be aware of moving forward.
That's a fascinating breakdown. Double up on the unders here for Troy. Jose, take it away. Rogers, Kirby, Mariners at the Marlins.
Yeah, I didn't have any action on this game. I like Kirby a whole lot, and I believe in him as a pitcher. He's one of my favorite pitchers to watch. Modern day Greg Maddux, et cetera, et cetera. But I stayed off. I think Rogers is very vulnerable. If I was betting this game, I'd take like first 5 -0.5 for the Mariners. But you guys expect low volatility, so I'm off.
Wow. Okay. Huh. Fascinating.
I find it fascinating, like looking within these samples. There's some teams like the Mariners, not the Mariners, sorry, the Marlins, the Rockies. There's some teams that like just are trend breakers, and you'd imagine that this is the spot right here where the Marlins might break the trend on this under. But then you look in that sample, it's happening in the 8th and the 9th inning. So if you want to be safe, I would definitely err towards the first 5 just because of what history, tends to repeat itself. But at the same time, I'm on both.
Wow. All right. I'm going to need more time with this spot. Troy, first 5 under 4, -111. Full game under 7.5 at -106. That adds to Troy's action on the Diamondbacks first 5 at +110. Jose and I both joined him on that. And Troy's on the Cubs first 5 -0.5. There we go from our Troy Torrence. Troy football season right around the corner. Thank you so much for making time for us. Please support our friend Troy on X at Troy Torrence 11 because what a season we have coming up. I'm so excited about the opportunity of another year of Bankroll Blitz. Thank you for rocking with us today, Troy. Any last words for the Capper Sport in the show?
All right, everybody can stop texting me about the Browns already. People are getting me bullish on the Browns already, so it's bad because I was off the Browns trade, and now people are starting to hit me back up. I'm starting to buy back into the Brownies, so I'm looking forward to it. I'm definitely in July. Come July, I'll be diving deep and creating my own power ratings like I did last year. Looking forward to it. Looking forward to the rest of this show as I haven't capped some of these games coming up, so I look forward to doing that with the crew.
I hope that you're on the right side of history in the AFC East, Troy. I hope that you're on the right side of history. Just remember that.
All right. Let's roll on. I really like this baseball game. I really like this baseball game.
Yeah, we finally got a pitcher.
Attack it. Well, I knew it was Yariel. We knew all Jays fans have been studying, knowing the Yariel was coming back. And I can't wait to watch him again. So I think we have a huge advantage. Huge advantage. Carrasco just pitching against the Jays 5 days ago. I think this should be a first 3 and first 5 spot, but I wanted to talk it out with everybody. We have Yariel Rodriguez making his 5th major league start. A pitcher.
What happened to him?
Back. Was back, right? Let me just double. I believe it was a. God, I'm almost certain it was not arm. I believe it was a back injury. Let's see here. Yes, it was a back injury, and 15-day IL. 79 pitches in his final rehab outing. So, he's going to be on some sort of a pitch limit, but I really like him. He's got movement. He doesn't throw really, really hard, but I really like him. Doug Konopasek asking about WNBA. We have Billy Brisbane joining us for WNBA here at the end of MLB. So no worries. We'll be rolling there. So Yariel Rodriguez back going up against Carlos Carrasco. So one thing that you know about and why I was backing Yariel Rodriguez in his starts was that nobody's seen him. Nobody. Now we have tape on him from his first 4 starts, but that's the only thing people have on him. And the Jays just saw Carrasco. Benjamin Mills says, as a Cleveland fan, Carrasco is trash. Rand says Carrasco hit like 5 batters last time. And Reginald Code says fading Carrasco first 5 has been profitable. Carrasco allowed 5 earned runs over 5 innings against the Jays. At home, he's been terrible. Now it's only 19 2/3, so maybe the sample size isn't enough, but 351 opponent's batting average, 14 Ks and 9 walks. And the Jays are hitting righties okay. Now they're not hitting righties the way the Guardians are. Look, the Guardians are a really good baseball team. Stephen Vogt has come in, and he's, I guess, the perfect guy for the job. But Tito still is, like, if you hear Kipnis or any of these guys talk about the Guardians, still Tito, they still got Tito's energy all over this clubhouse, and they believe in themselves. This offense puts the ball in play nonstop. This offense makes pitchers work, makes defenses work, but Carrasco is a problem. Let's get into the line history here and the weather. We'll start with the weather. The weather in Cleveland is 85 Fahrenheit, 7.1 miles per hour in, dies down to 6 miles per hour. Let's get into the line history. This line history here, move to full game. On the total, this total is sitting here at 9. 9. This has been all over the place. It opened up at 9, got up to 9.5, went back to 9, then dropped to 8.5. And it stayed at 8.5 for 30 minutes before it went back to 9, dropped down to 8.5, and then an hour ago came back up to 9. So there still has been 17 cents of movement on the under. When we get to the money line for this one, we have it sitting at minus 125. This opened up at minus 123. So really no movement. Let's get to the cash flow, the all-important cash flow. I wanted more time. I wanted Rodriguez to be announced, and I wanted more time to study these, or to have at least the statistics for us to look at. 93% of tickets, 86% cash on the over, 76% of tickets, and 89% of cash on the Cleveland Guardians. Coin has Cleveland money line and run line. LJ from HTown has Guardians money line and the team total over 4.5. Kelly McInnes has Cleveland money line and the minus 1.5. Coin says advantage Cleveland in the late innings without question. I agree. Professor Chris on the Cleveland money line and run line, but not top set. He's doubling up on the Blue Jays, and this all has me extremely excited about taking the Blue Jays first 3 and first 5. But before I hand it over to you, Jose, I would like to know that there's a price difference at 365. So the Blue Jays are plus 110 full game. They're even money first 5. It's exactly what I want to see. And let's see a minus 110 first 3. Minus 110 first 3. I'm going to be on the Toronto Blue Jays first 3 and first 5. Jose, take it away.
Yeah, I'm with you. First 5 Blue Jays for me. The back-to-back doesn't favor Carrasco. I like Yariel. I liked him going into the season, especially because, again, no one saw him. He took a whole year to prepare for the major leagues, et cetera, not an arm injury. We just need the Blue Jays offense to come through for us. That's the biggest hurdle every time we bet the Blue Jays, obviously. So I'm just hoping that back-to-back helps them. So Blue Jays first 5, even money for me.
First 5 at even money for Jose. This is a double up for me. This is a first 3 and first 5 for me. Everything fits, everything works, and I love it. And look, I don't love going up against all those cappers that we just talked about in the chat, but it is what it is.
I was shocked to see all that money on the Guardians, honestly.
Well, they're a really good baseball team, 23-9 at home. I think there's not just a small advantage on the mound. I think a real legitimate advantage on the mound.
I agreed.
Joe Yergman says this could be a bullpen heavy game which favors Cleveland. That's an interesting point where if I cash, might want to look at the Guardians live after 5. It's a really good point. Coin said Cleveland 46-26 on the money line this year. Decent prices, a good baseball team. Oh, no one's asking who's the better baseball team. Cleveland Guardians are a much better baseball team than the Blue Jays.
But today they lose. At least in the first 5 innings.
Yeah. Because Carrasco, the second time seeing these guys, what you think he's got a big bag of tricks? I mean, you do kind of like vets and back-to-backs better than young kids, but
exactly. But yeah, I agree. I think I just think that this lineup will be good enough. They haven't been good enough all year, but I think this is an occasion where they're set up for success.
Let's roll on to the next spot on the board here. 8:05 p.m. Eastern. We have the Kansas City Royals 42-34, 17-20 on the road. Texas Rangers 34-40, 17-19 at home. We are at Globe Field in Arlington, Texas.
I don't know about you. I was surprised at this line too.
And there's our guy Razor Sharp Picks. Just got done. Royal Ascot and Fat Wally cashed a $23,000 try.
Wow.
And the exacta combined made it $25,000. God, couldn't happen to a better guy.
Yeah.
Isn't that wonderful?
That is. Razor, what were the, I guess, the odds of the horses, if you know off the top of your head? I'd love to know wonderful.
That is absolutely wonderful. Wally is such a good man, such a good person.
I don't know what, if all the people, what is Wally going to do with $25,000? I'm interested.
Just put in his bankroll. There's nothing. You don't do anything with it. You just have a fatter bankroll. Relax. That's all. You make money. You don't do a goddamn thing. You don't change anything. You just put it right in your bankroll. If you can, put a little more into your unit size, you do that. Nothing changes. I imagine that's what he'll do as well. But let's roll. Royals, Rangers, Brady Singer, Nate Eovaldi, DC Capper on the Kansas City Royals here. Brady Singer, 4-4, 3.39 ERA, 1.22 WHIP, 76 Ks in 77 innings, 23 walks, 11 home runs. In his last start, 6 innings, 5 hits, 3 earned runs, all solo shots, 4 Ks, 2 walks, and a 3-0 loss at the Dodgers. On the road, it's 286 opponents batting average is strange for Brady. 3.94 ERA, 26 Ks and 29 2/3. He's walked too many batters, but he gets double plays, he gets outs, he gets strikeouts when he needs them. Nate Eovaldi coming off allowing 4 earned runs in a 7-5 loss at the Mariners. He's been excellent at Globe Life Field. Excellent. We know the roof will be closed. He is at 2-0 with a 2.09 ERA, 41 strikeouts over 38 2/3, once hitting 182 against them. The Royals are hitting so much harder than the Rangers versus righties. I mean, it's very difficult to find any angle where the Rangers are better than the Royals. I mean, if you did, you would say the bullpen since May 15th is slightly better, but that's about it. Let's take a look at the line history here for this one. On the money line, we have the Texas Rangers at -137. They opened up at -147. So a move towards the Kansas City Royals, which does make sense. Let's get into the total. This total is sitting here at 8 -114 to the under. This has been all over the place. So this opened up at 8.5. 2.5 hours later, it moves to 8. Sitting at 8, and then at 4 in the morning, it moves to 7.5. Then back up to 8 at 11. It only lasts there for 15 minutes to 7.5, and then back up to 8. We've still had a half run move from 8.5 -113 to the under. Now 8 -114 to the under. And when we get into the cash flow here for this one, we have 99% of tickets, 99% of cash on the over. Wow. 84% of tickets, 85% of cash on the Rangers. Ooh-wee. I mean, wow. Take it away, Jose. Just market screaming Royals and under to me. What are your thoughts?
Yeah, I thought the Royals would be, much closer in this matchup, honestly. I know Eovaldi's been great, but Jimmy, we've kind of mentioned this a few times this year, or I guess this few months. Rangers against righties, they've been bad. This month, worst, dead last. And I thought, okay, well, maybe they'll regress back to being good, but I don't know. I just really think that the Royals are live here. I think Brady Singer, you said back-to-back shit starts there for him. I think he can easily bounce back here. Now, you're really taking a risk with either bullpen if you wanted to back him here. So I was back and forth on the Royals. I like the over, but the market is screaming under, like you've mentioned. So I like the Royals here, and I was just going back and forth. Wanted to hear everyone's thoughts on the over or the under and the Royals here. But yeah, I like the Royals, and I might move on it.
What's your expectation of Nate Eovaldi?
It's an interesting question because it feels like he's barely pitched this year. I don't know about you, but obviously I'm a big Eovaldi guy. And I just I have not seen him all year. And his last start was okay. I don't know. Maybe I've got a higher standards for my guy, Nasty Nate here, but I don't know. 3 innings, 4 earned runs, just not good enough. 4 walks too. On top of that, I just don't know if I can. I expect him to have like somewhat of a bounce back start, but I expect it to be like 5 innings. Like he faced the Braves on 420, 5 1/3, 5 hits, 3 earned runs. That's kind of what I expect more from Eovaldi today. He'll have his control together. I'll tell you that.
So what's your official action?
I think I'll move Royals full game. I'm going to trust their bullpen to come through for me because let me refresh my bullpen rankings real quick just to make sure. Royals have the 24th ranked bullpen this month. Oh, that's his FIP. Sorry. Let me go to ERA. And they are Kansas City. They are 12th in bullpen ERA, 3.38, while Texas is 18th at 4.11. So I believe we have a bullpen advantage. So I'll go Royals full game with you guys.
I'm going to go Royals and the first 5 under. Should I not worry about the bullpens here?
I mean, I would if I was betting unders, especially because, again, both these bullpens have just not been good. I easily expect the Royals to go get more arms if they want to compete this year, and who knows what that happens.
Top set bullish on this. Plus
124.
Okay, I'll join you guys. Royals and the first 5 under at this point for me in this one. All right, let's roll on to the next spot on the board, and let's welcome in our guy, a star of NBA programming on this channel. And this man knows everything about the great city of Houston, home of one of my favorite rappers, Scarface. Jose, can you please play our next guest's intro?
Pub Sports Radio's the crew, that's a fact. We all about bread, making bank accounts fat. Who the hell is that? LJ from the H, I stack green like Boston. Shout out to Nasty Nate from down south, where we ride on slab. 420 highway smoking with that boy Daby Cab. Swing by Dallas with them Cowboy fans so we can smoke out J Money, cause you know that's our mans. Us against the bookies, put money in our pockets. Fly out to Vegas, meet up with Ski Profit. Hit the sports books, we got money to stack. Can't forget them college picks with that boy Connor Mack.
LJ from H-Town, your Houston Astros in play. This is such a fascinating baseball game that I want to get involved in. We've heard from Razor Sharp Picks, Gamblers first glance in with that Rangers Royals under. LJ, how are you, my guy?
I'm doing great, Jimmy. Happy Friday to you, Jose. Happy Friday to you as well. No, you're geeking and gawking right now, and I'm not mad at you, Jose. You won, so next time I'm in San Antonio, I will kindly treat you to my bet that I lost. I'm a man of my word, so I will treat you to that state.
Thank you.
Thank you. But yeah, I'm actually going to come down there and also do a remix to the intro because, that was last year's intro. It's time to do a new intro. And y'all know I did the song at Publipalooza 3 for the chat. So I'm going to go down there and re-record a chat intro for all the people in Pub Sports. Shout out to Oli Coin, Marley Marl, Sharon Pulliam, all the heavy hitters in the chat. And yeah, Jimmy, I texted you early this morning. It was like, yeah, Jimmy, I want to get in this game. I was off today, capping some games. So I felt that I could find some good plays in this Astros-Orioles game. So we'll get right to it.
I love this baseball game and can't wait to discuss it. So let's roll. Orioles, Astros, Minute Maid in Houston, Texas. Grayson Rodriguez, he's got inflated numbers on the road, but he's been quite good everywhere over the last 4 starts. Overall in the season, he's been excellent. 8-2, 3.20 ERA, 1.22 whip. Coming off that 6-2 win at home over the Phillies, shut them down over 7 innings, 2 earned runs, 6 Ks, 1 walk. On the road, though, 259 opponents batting average, 4.28 ERA, walked 11 over 33 and 2/3. But it doesn't concern me. I think he's a very, very good pitcher. Let's get into the line history. But first, let's talk about Jake Bloss, who paid the cost to be the Bloss. This guy, 3rd-round pick in this draft that we just had last year out of Georgetown. And he is a 22-year-old who turns 23 tomorrow. This day before his birthday. He has been so good this year in the minors. I mean, he was good last year, but it was from rookie ball to A ball. But this year, this guy starts out in high A Asheville. He gets 4 starts there, 17 in the 3rd. He allows 4 earned runs, strikes out 25, looks really good. Then he goes up to Double A, and he's even better there in Corpus Christi. 3-1 over 8 starts, 1.61 ERA, 0.72 whip. He allowed 8 earned runs in 44 and 2/3. He allowed 2 jacks, 35 Ks, and 13 walks. Jake Bloss is a very good young pitcher. Now, can he deliver here against the Orioles, who are hitting 272 with an 835 OPS versus righties since May 15th? That is the question that we must ask ourselves. Let's take a look at the line history here for this one. We'll start with the total. This total is sitting at 8.5, and it's juiced to the over. It opened up juiced to the over, so there's only been 8 cents of movement to the over, and it's never moved off the 8.5. So 8 cents of movement towards the over. Let's get to the money line here in this one. On the money line, we're sitting here with the Orioles at minus 147. They opened up at minus 142. Now, we did get up to minus 161, which, at that point you can say it's a legit move towards them, 19 cents of movement. There was no move when this line came out. I guess by 7:18 in the morning, it moved 8 cents. But there hadn't been much of a move. And now there's been 14 cents of buyback on the Astros. I imagine that the cash flow is all over the Baltimore Orioles. And it is 80% of the tickets, 97% of the cash. 96% tickets, 96% cash on the over. I wonder if when you're young and dumb, you are not concerned with the monsters that you're pitching against. I don't have that answer. I don't know what Bloss should be. Professor Chris says the O should be about minus 190 by his numbers. Morgan Spooner says, what's the thought of management putting this kid up against the Orioles bats? Is it a death sentence for a kid who's ready? This guy shouldn't be worked in Major League rotation yet. Orioles team total over. Now, Mally Mousey's minus 170. Again, Mally Mal, I'm just giving you the pinnacle numbers just because I believe they're a very sharp book. I'll do a refresh here, but I do not see minus 170 either. Let's do a refresh and see if any other books are close to that number. No, they're not. There's the very highest number here is Bovada and my bookie. Sorry, my bookie hanging the minus 164. My bookie is making the Baltimore Orioles 17 cents more expensive. Interesting comment from Morgan Spooner. Let's hear what LJ's plan is. LJ from HTown here for Orioles Astros action. Take it away, LJ.
Yeah, Jimmy. You talked about Jake Bloss making his major league debut. And, we all know the reason why. They're injured starting pitchers. Astros are just dealing with it right now. So they have no choice to bring the prospect up and see what he can do. But listening to the insiders out here for the Astros, they like what they see for the most part. They love his maturity. He has a tenacious routine for as knowing when to prep, knowing when to throw his pitches. He's very aware of the pitches that work for him. So all the boxes check. He's a good strikeout thrower as well. But he is making his major league debut. And what better team to see what he got than these hot Orioles coming into town. And this is a high-powered offense, man. And for the most part, I do believe there's runs going to be scored in this game. And everybody knows me. If they know me, they track me. I'm always on the Astros at home first 5 over. It's just an automatic bet that I've been doing simply because the Astros are 8-4 to the over first 5 in their last, 12 games. So I just believe it's going to go over 13-3 in their last 16 to the first 5 over at home, 7-3 first 5 over at home as well. So I'm on the first 5 over 4.5, minus 115. And I'm also going to double up on the full game, over 8.5. I just believe the Orioles are going to put up a lot of runs. They're coming into this game. Last game, 19 hits, 17 runs the last game. And they're averaging 12 hits and 8 runs since Rodriguez's last start. And you already talked about him. He's been pitching well. He's won their last 3 starts. And all 5 starts on the road that he's pitched, the total has gone over. So all the boxes checked for over, Jimmy. I wouldn't be surprised if the Orioles win the game because I always tell y'all as well, the Astros are much better on the road than they are at home. So I'm always going to take the opposing team if I want to bet against the Astros. And the first game is pretty much where you want to bet against them because the Orioles are 7-3 in the first game of a road series. Not to mention 21-7 in their last 28 games to the run line. So I believe it continues tonight, but my 2 best bets are the first 5 over 4.5 and the total over 8.5. And I also have a prop that I want to mention as well. I'm going to take Alex Bregman over 1.5 bases plus 125. He's 21-3 to the over 1+ hit in his last 24 games. He's reached base safely 19 out of his last 20 games. He has a 600 batting average versus Rodriguez. And he's 7-1 to over 1.5 hit at home in the first game of a home series. So those are my 3 plays right there, Jimmy.
What was the juice on the over 8.5?
Minus 122.
LJ from H-Town coming in guns a-blazing. First 5 over 4.5, full game over 8.5, Bregman over 1.5 bases. I don't like backing teams offensively after a ridiculous explosion. But what you are saying is it wasn't really out of the norm for what the Orioles offense has been doing lately. They've been smashing. Jose Bouquett, take it away. Orioles, Astros.
Yeah, the Astros interested me. All the money on the Orioles, obviously, and the line moving towards the Astros. Seems like it's a flag there to bet them. And Grayson Rodriguez has not been, as good as we all thought he could be, I guess, as was what I was thinking. And so I lean Astros here, but I haven't moved on it. And I don't know if I will. So just quite maybe not an easy pass for me, but just no action here. I don't trust Jake Bloss either on his debut. So maybe an Astros team total or nothing here, but nothing for me.
I mean, I don't know how Grayson Rodriguez could have better numbers than what he has. 8-2, 3.20 ERA, 1.22 WHIP, 77 Ks over 70 and a third, 7 home runs allowed, and 70. And I mean, I think you're being a little. I mean, how could he be if he's
Probably
better
am
than
being
this,
a little
he's
harsh. Yes, yeah, I'm probably being a little harsh. You know,
Mikey Money says dogs longer than plus 115 in the first game of the series are 1-18 straight up off of a win as a favorite since May 1st. Wow, I'm with you. Matty Ice has this thing started Taint Play today where he fades these pitchers in their first career start, and I'm not on that wavelength. I find that it's just such an unknown. Like it's such a coin flip, and a lot of these batters haven't seen what the pitcher has. I don't see a pitcher like Jake Bloss and think, oh, he's going to get destroyed. Morgan Spooner says Bloss relies on 5 pitches. He will not be able to command all 5. His mistakes will be magnified by these Orioles bats. Interesting. Professor Chris says Grayson 3.87 Sierra and 3.86 xFIP last season through the present. Okay, I can't move on this. In fact, I guess Jake Bloss is such a question mark. I'm not going to sit here and expect. Yeah. It's funny when these pitchers have these ridiculously high minor league numbers, they seem to come in and pitch well. This guy comes in and he's an absolute stud. Brent Cook says Orioles should rock a Mally Mal on the Orioles. It's a perfect game for LJ to be rocking with us because Jose and I are sitting on the fence here. And LJ firing away. LJ on the first 5 over 4.5, full game over 8.5, and Bregman over 1.5 bases at plus 125. LJ, NFL around the corner here. But before that, we have the Olympics in basketball. Are you going to be studying the rosters and the players and making moves in the Olympics?
Definitely. We got our high-powered NBA guns coming out to the Olympics, so definitely going to be some money to be made.
How boring is that? Everyone knows what's going to happen. USA romps and wins, whatever. What a boring event.
I don't know about all that. We'll see, though, because it's some Olympics. They showing you in the NBA that if you put the starting 5 of the foreigners versus the American NBA teams, I think the foreigners would win.
Yeah, they'd whoop their ass. It's just a shame they're not on one country.
Hey, it's all good, but they're scattered throughout the country, so we'll see.
It's too bad that Yugoslavia isn't a country.
Yeah, they would whoop their ass.
I don't know about whoop their ass, but now we're talking,
Yeah.
It's going to be really, really, really exciting, and I can't wait. We've never had an opportunity like this. Now, there's still players we're waiting for. I don't think Wiggins plays for Canada. We're saying all the nicest things about him.
Mm-hmm.
We're like we're praying that he shows up, but I have a funny feeling Wiggins doesn't show up, and he's going to be so important because our 5-4, and he can slip into the 4 sometimes and play the 4, even though he's probably not meant for it. But we're a real problem at 5-4 right now. Canada, with Shea and Jamal Murray and you could put Dylan Brooks as a 1-2-3. Like it's pretty nice. But then we have Powell and Kelly Olynyk 4-5. Those guys that's a problem.
Playoff legend.
That's a
Kelly Olynyk's been in big games.
Yeah, I know. He's just dumpy. It's like he's got size 65 feet. He's just dumpy. He's just doesn't.
Kelly Olynyk messed up that first championship with the Cavs when he tore Kevin Love's arm off.
Yeah.
Payback for Rondo. I think Dwayne Wade might have been on that team, so fuck that guy.
Well, I can't wait to hear your breakdowns for Olympic basketball. We'd love to have them here on the channel with us, LJ. Please support our guy, LJ, on X at LJ Sports Media. LJ moving on, first 5 over 4.5, full game over 8.5, Bregman over 1.5 bases. That Bregman was plus 125?
Yes, sir.
Plus money spot on Bregman who's been rolling. Any last words for the cappers supporting the show? LJ, my guy.
Hey, just keep making this money, man. Let's keep capping. Let's find these spots and continue to keep destroying these bookies, man. So see you next time, Jimmy.
Love it. There he is, LJ from H-Town. Jose, we roll on because Daby Cab joins us after this game. 8:40 p.m. Eastern, we have the Washington Nationals 36-38, 19-19 on the road at the Colorado Rockies 26-49, 15-22 at home. We're at Coors Field in Denver, Colorado. You know, I'm interested in DJ Hers. The problem here is that the Rockies have been smashing lefties. 266, 791 OPS.
And I'm pretty sure this is probably his first start in Coors.
Yes. And so, but this guy's got really good stuff. I don't know what to do. So let's go over the line history here, and let's talk about the weather. The weather here in Colorado, 77 Fahrenheit, so it's not too sticky. 6.1 miles per hour left to right. So the wind's not a big deal, but the thin air is. Let's get into the line history. These Rockies opening up at plus 103. They're now plus 108. So a very small 5-cent move towards the Nationals. Let's get into the total here in this one. From a total side of things, we are dealing with an 11, minus 102 to the under. This opened up at 11, and there's been no movement. So this opened up last night, 5:49 p.m. The over 11 was minus 114. Now the over 11 is minus 111. So very, very a lack of movement here. When we get to the cash flow, we have 67% of tickets and 81% of cash on the Nationals, just a 5-cent move towards them. 74% of tickets, 79% cash on the over, and no move there. Coin saying Stone did well in his first start of Coors yesterday. Yes, shout out to our guy.
Sharpie.
Sharpie was all over that. No worries, JPZ. You can go over it again, but for you, my man, we'll stop everything. You're the man. So this is the looks for the game that pops off here in 32 minutes. Troy's on the Cubs first 5 minus a half. Sharpie's on Imanaga over 6.5 Ks at plus 120. Ron Crawford's spreadsheet play today is the Mets, and Dommy Gun is on the Mets. And I moved on the over 8. Then, I felt very good about all that. And then we heard your grandma is wearing your sister's panties again play today. It's the Mets and the under 8 at plus 325.
And
Rocco says,
by the way. Or was it Markel? Who was it that sent us this lovely picture, Jimmy?
Oh, wow.
Was it Ricky Bobby? I think it was.
Yeah, it was Ricky Bobby. I couldn't find it in my... Yeah. I'm going to need that. All right, back to this spot here. Jose, take it away, Nats, Rockies.
Yeah, I stayed off this game as well. I don't want to back DJ in his first start. I've been having some success with Rockies team total overs. Might lean that way here again, but no action. I have a lot of action as it is already.
All right. Mikey says he swears that's his buddy's mom.
Wow. Even better.
Get her information. Hurts coming off that spectacular start at home versus the Marlins.
Yeah, I don't think he does that again.
No, I mean, it's sort of set up here for Hurts to get destroyed, isn't it? Hurts last start, 13 strikeouts over 6 innings and a 4-0 win at home, 3.77 ERA, 1.19 whip over 14 and third. So Hurts is sort of set up to have a letdown. And then you have Dakota Hudson, who's been pitching quite well. Now, if you look at his home numbers, they're atrocious. 7.16 ERA, 323 opponent batting average. Well, we saw what he did in Chavez Ravine. The Rockies are smashing lefties, and Nats aren't hitting righties. I guess the volatility here, I would think, would be skyrocketing, but it's not according to the market. I don't want to back Hurts and expect him to pitch really well here. I don't want to be involved, I guess.
Agreed.
Okay. Well, let's bring on our next guest. We have 3 games left before we get into WNBA. Fresh off board sweepage yesterday. He's already given us a look. He has already given us right here. In the Braves game, Ozuna over 1.5 hits, runs, and RBIs. And DC Cap are going to join me on the Bombers line, still at -2. I love it, DC. Let's get it. Don't worry about the market movement. If we had worried about it yesterday, we wouldn't have cashed. So just don't worry about it.
I'm more interested in Sports Money's comment.
Send
her my information, Sports Money.
So please welcome from Dallas, Texas Star Medicaid Mondays, Mr. Daby Cab, back to the show. Daby, how are you?
I'm good, man. I'm good. Ready to fire away again here. I was going to say, I had a prop in another game that I think I'm going to pull the trigger on.
All right.
So if I do, I'm just going to tag you in it like I did the other day. I'll just tag you in it if I add it.
Perfect.
And if you don't, we know what it is.
I hate you, Jose.
Well, you brought it up.
Jose, you see yesterday, Jimmy, when I got up here, and Jose, we had our records up because his first game. And you were like, all right, Jose, you can put him down. They're shit anyways. Get JT in here. And fucking Jose takes his time just to make sure he can put my record right there in the corner. No, still look at him smiling. See?
Yes.
You're an asshole,
we show everyone's records for their first games as well.
I officially don't like you anymore.
Oh.
You won't like the graphic or the video I was making too. I started brainstorming, or I guess Mikey gave me a great idea for your play of the day video, and I've already started working on it.
Let's stay focused here. We have Colin Ray up against Dylan Cease. We're at Petco Park in San Diego, California. 68 Fahrenheit, 7.9 miles per hour in, dies down to 6.7 miles per hour. Don't forget, we have a $100 horse race here. I'm That Heat says Bombers minus 1.5 now. Yeah, I took it at 2.5. I'm That Heat and went to 1.5. It's fine. Ron Crawford, CFL play of the day is Winnipeg moneyline. It's fine. I mean, it's fine. Colin Ray going up against Dylan Cease. Ray's last start, 3 runs, 2 of which were earned, a 5-4 win at home versus the Reds. He's been excellent this year. 3.29 ERA, 1.23 whip. Yes, he's been better in Milwaukee, but he's been fine he's been better in Milwaukee. On the road, 3.93 ERA, 266 opponents batting average, 22 Ks and 16 walks. Not the K to walk ratio you'd want, but that's always been his problem, and that's why he's not being given the starting spot in the rotation in most clubs he's pitched for. Going up against Dylan Cease, coming off getting lit up and smoked by the Mets, 7 earned runs over 3 2/3. He's been good at home, 43 strikeouts over 35 with 9 walks, 231 opponents batting average. And I know that Daby Cab's been watching Dylan Cease very closely here. Not in college, Isaiah, but yeah, all growing up I played sports. We can get into that here in a second. Brewers versus righties, 253, 712 OPS. Padres versus righties, 277, 762 OPS. Let's get into line history. This 7.5 moved to 8. It moved to 8 at 9:10 a.m. and then came back to 7.5. So overall, we have 1 cent of movement to the under. 1 cent of movement to the under. And on the money line, we have this at minus 147 on Cease. Opened up at minus 149. So no movement on either. Let's get into the cash flow here. From a cash flow scenario, we have 99% of tickets in cash on the over, not moving. 19% of tickets and 44% cash on the Brewers. Take it away for us here, Daby Cab. Floor is yours, Brewers, Padres.
What'd you say? One more time on the total. What was the cash?
99 and 99 on the over.
And it's not moving?
Mm-mm.
See, this is where it's enjoyable to not have money on something right here. So I haven't even I didn't tweet it out, and I have not officially bet this. I like the first 5 over here, okay? It's not hard to see why. I talked about it yesterday. These are the 2 best, not 2 best, but 2 of the better offenses in baseball this year. San Diego is 2nd in batting average. Brewers are 6th. Both of these teams hit really well against righties. I went over the numbers. Obviously, they've changed because both of them played yesterday, but we saw how that game went. Lots of runs, lots of hits. Last 12 games for the Padres, 254 against righties. Brewers, if you look at their last 20 games, they're hitting 260 against righties. And I don't text often about players or anything, but I sent you in that Oakland game a message about Cease, and it's very rare I'll say something. Sure, he only gave up 1 run against Oakland, so it looks like a great start. But if you look into the numbers on that start, he gave up 8 hits in 6 innings, 1 walk. So we had nine base runners through 6 innings. That sounds like Oakland being Oakland right there and not scoring more than it sounds like Cease getting out of it. And then if we look across, let's go back. Colorado, Atlanta, New York, Kansas City, the Angels, and then that Oakland game, he gave up 3, 5, 4, 3, 3, 1 before the big blow-up game where he gave up 7 against the Mets. I mean, I'm shocked he hasn't come out and said something's wrong just to, get that 15-day. That 15 days is a 2-week reset. And every pitcher knows, you take 2 weeks off, your arm feels better, you just do a little rehab throughout that 2 weeks. I am shocked Cease hasn't taken it yet because his fastball's flat, and I'm ranting on that. That's why I like the over. Both these teams hit righties. Cease has not been Cease that we're used to. We saw him doing the same thing at the end of last season also. So I still might bet the over. I just want to watch the numbers for a little bit. I got till 8:40 tonight, so or 9:40 Eastern. So I'll update everyone on what I do with this.
And I think the Brewers are very live here. I'm very interested in them. Jose, take it away.
Yeah, another underdog that
Makes
interests
sense.
me as well here, guys. I thought that Dylan Cease could be, vulnerable as well as Daby Cab is saying. So that makes me feel a little better about betting against him here. And yeah, that Oakland start didn't inspire confidence, and then got crushed by the Mets. I just don't know if I really want to back him after that last start, or I should say, I want to fade him specifically after that last start because there's always bounce back potential. So I stayed off, but I lean Brewers heavily with you guys as well.
Yeah, I think I'm not going to stay off. I think I'm betting the Brewers here.
I think that actually might be where that's why I need to think on this, because that makes sense. If I don't like going against 99% of the cash if the line's not moving, especially at a 7.5. They could have at least moved it to a fucking 8. You know what I mean?
Yeah, it's fishy. It's fishy. And if we get to the bullpen battle, I like the Brewers better. 19% of the tickets, but 44% of the cash. I think it makes sense.
And
to
both
me.
these bullpens are still good. Like, it's not like they're one's shit and one's bad. They're both very good bullpens still. So,
yeah, no, I feel you. Okay, well, I'm going to move. Oh shoot, I think I said that. No, I didn't. Oh, what the hell? Okay. Sorry. Sorry. Issue picking up Ella. I'm going to be on the Brewers. The Brewers make sense to me. Rod Zweig says Brewers 5-0 following a loss. DC Capper also on the Brewers. Ron Crawford said Brewers was almost a dog play, and Woo Riz says Brewers best dog on the board.
wait, you guys aren't out of school yet?
No, we don't start school till later because I don't know how we don't start school till later. So it's Ella is in school till the end of the month. Next Friday's her last day. Okay. Brewers for me. Isaiah, to answer your question, I played every sport. Well, the 4 main sports, and I wasn't actually not really. I stopped playing basketball in like grade 8.
You guys
what baseball?
Yeah, that's right. Hockey. I'm like, what the fuck are the 4 main sports? Oh yeah, he's Canadian.
Yeah.
Hockey. My bad.
Yeah.
What baseball position did you play?
I played shortstop. I was pretty good, but with the higher level, especially when we got to All-Stars, I couldn't hit at a level that was. And I was the starting shortstop, but my arm wasn't good. I probably should have been second base. I didn't trust my arm, but whatever. And then soccer was probably my best sport.
Wow.
I was off the bench for the under 16 BC team, but hockey was my favorite sport. And up until 14 years old, I thought I was going to play pro. I tried out for the Penticton Panthers Junior A team. I only made it to rookie camp. I didn't make it to the main camp. And yeah, so I played everything all my life. And one thing I didn't understand that when my playing days, when I just wasn't good enough to compete at the highest level, that I could still have a job in sports. It didn't occur to me. If I had have known better, I would have walked on to York University's hockey team and just been an assistant coach and helped out. I didn't realize that was something I could have done. I thought when you stop being good enough that everything was over, and that wasn't the case. So, Isaiah Scurry, coaches always believed that I could make the tackle, but I didn't want to hurt people. I didn't have that, you need to want to hurt people.
Oh, you sound like Jose.
So I had coaches call me out and put the bag in front of me, in front of the whole team, and go out, say all this horrible shit about me, and then make me hit the bag in front of the whole entire team, like every year. I didn't have that killer instinct defensively. It hurt me defensively. So but I love the sport. All right, let's roll on. Roll on here. We're going to hear if Daby Cab's going to move on this Brewers spot.
Like I said, I think now after talking with you guys here, and since I haven't bet this, I'm more leaning towards taking the Brewers just at plus money than going against the money. So I'll tweet it out when I decide what I'm going to do.
I like it. And Remo says you could have played with chopsticks. That would have helped with your killer instinct. Things change. Things change when you see how horrifying life is.
Yeah, I was about to say, Jimmy, I thought you had that killer instinct, by the way. You were always talking about wanting to cut people's throat and put your balls on their face.
You develop an edge. I left home when I was 17. I never went back. You develop an edge. You think that people are all out to get you, and you want them to know that you'll cut them.
I'm trying to find my picture of Jose and you. I showed it to Jose on Medicate Monday. I have this. Oh, I found it. Wonderful for everybody. Everybody knows Jose wrestled in high school, right? He was 2-14. I found out how he got one of those wins. Check that out, Jimmy.
Yeah, I like Jimmy being in the background there.
Okay. All right. But yeah, life does give you an edge that you may not have had, growing up. That's all. Life gives you an edge. All right. I'm that he'd saying that have that dog in you. My dad was an undersized linebacker, and he wanted to hurt people. He led with his helmet. All he wanted to do was ruin people's lives, hurt them and injure them forever.
So as I was growing up is when they started making rules to where you couldn't kill people when you tackle them and stuff like that, right?
Yeah.
But
what a nice rule.
My dad played football at A&M in the 80s. And so he's definitely got CTE, man. If you met him, you'd like him, but it's not, he's a little crazy still to this day, right? He coached our football team, Jimmy. The number one drill that we had to do before every game in the middle of the field was called face up. Where he'd have us we're 12-year-old kids, man, lined in a straight line. He'd put his hands on both of our helmets and then move and go to the next two and move. So it's hitting your heads as hard as you can.
My dad was taught to lead with the crown of his helmet.
Yeah, you put it right under the chin.
Yeah, that's how he was taught. I mean, that's how. Yeah. And those helmets, these are not helmets with a lot of protection, But, okay, we got to roll on here. We have our guy Billy Brisbane in the shadows waiting for us to rock WNBA. We're going to see if Daby Cab moves on the Brewers. At this point here, though, I am moving on the Brewers. Daby Cab, you are going to be co-hosting with Jose Bouquett tomorrow on Say Hey Plays of the Day, coming off sweeping the board yesterday. Any last words for the Capper Sport in the show, my man?
No, let's cash. Whether the volume is high or low, the point is to win. I like my Ozuna prop today, so we're going to cash that. I'll decide on this Brewers plus money. I'll see you guys next week, and I'll see you tomorrow with Jose. So shout out to you guys. I love you guys. Let's get money.
I love it. Respect. Going back, thinking about not having that, I think part of it, I separated my shoulder in grade 7. I guess I was always a little tentative tackling, and I always went low. But you need to have that, like you said, that dog inside you where you want to hurt somebody. Being a power play specialist will only go so far. Let's roll on to the next spot on the board. Jose, we got 2 games left before we get into WNBA. 9:40 p.m. Eastern, we have the Minnesota Twins 41-34, 18-18 on the road at the Oakland Athletics, 28-49, 17-21 at home. Oakland Coliseum in Oakland, California. Now, Joey Estes got lit up in his last start. And maybe he needed that wake-up call, Jose, because I like his stuff. I think he can deliver, and I think Chris Paddock is bad. And, these teams just saw Paddock, just saw Estes. They started against each other. They both got knocked out early. Who do you think is going to bounce back in this start? And that led me towards saying Estes is going to bounce back in the start. Now, it wasn't enough for me to make a bet. I wanted to talk this out, but this feels to me like Estes, who has been excellent at home in a very small sample size. Estes has never walked a batter at home over 13 1/3 innings. I trust him and like him. And then you have Paddock, who's horrific on the road. He's horrific everywhere, but 315 opponents batting average. Now, the Twins are a much better baseball team, but the A's can play ball here. Let's take a look at the situation. We'll go into the weather. 64 Fahrenheit, 8.6 miles per hour to right field, dies down to 7.1 miles per hour. Let's get into the cash flow. The Oakland A's sitting at plus 150. That's exactly where they opened. So no movement there. On the total, here we have a total of 8.5. This opened up at 8 and it moved to 8.5 45 minutes ago. Interestingly, it moved 8.5 because this had no movement at all. This opened up at 5 p.m. and it didn't move until 45 minutes ago. That's wild. Let's get into the cash flow. From a cash flow standpoint, we have, here we go. We have 97% of tickets, 98% of cash on the over. If that hadn't have moved, Jose, now, I'd be probably betting the under. 88% tickets, 92% cash on the Twins is not moving. I want Estes. I want to be involved. Take it away for us here, Jose. We got Justin McKelvey and DC Capper both on the over. DC Capper also on the Twins. Take it away, Twins Ace.
Yeah, just a pass for me, unfortunately. I've been Chris Paddock's biggest supporter this year, it seems like. But
yeah,
I didn't want to take him here at a minus 160 price. I think the A's
it's a 20-cent difference for the A's full game of first 5.
Yeah, that bullpen, just collapsed. They lost a few guys, and then they don't have the bridge to Mason Miller anymore. So, I'm not totally surprised. Joey's been fine, but I just didn't have any action. I didn't want to move on it, so nothing here for me.
I'm going to be on the Oakland A's. First 3, I expect. I'm going to look at first 5 plus a half, but it's one of those things. First 3 money line or first 5 plus a half. I will make that decision. Let's roll into the final spot on the board before WNBA. 10:10 p.m. Eastern. We have the Los Angeles Angels 29-45, 17-20 on the road at the LA Dodgers 47-30, 24-15 at home. Dodger Stadium in Los Angeles, California. Patrick Sandoval, the lefty, going up against the Dodgers, who rake lefties 283, 880 OPS since May 15th. They also have Landon Knack on the mound, but let's stick with Sandoval for a second. He's coming off 4-3 win at the Giants, and they've been hitting lefties hard. He made it through 5 innings, allowing 3 earned runs. On the road, he's not been very good this year. 4.46 ERA, 258 opponents batting average, but he's been better on the road than he's been at home. Kelsey, no, I'm not on the Oilers tonight. I almost did. I'm on the unders. Whole world's on the overs, and I'm on the first period under 1.5, full game under 5.5. Landon Knack, coming off allowing 1 earned run over 4 2/3 next inning win at home versus the Reds. And let's get into Landon Knack a little bit. Second round pick in the 2020 draft out of East Tennessee State. And he has been very, very good now for 2 years, whether it be in AA Tulsa, AAA OKC. He's just been very good, very good. And the Angels aren't hitting right. He's 225, 675 OPS. Let's get into the cash and line history here for our final game on the board. This total is sitting at 8.5. It opened up at 8.5, dropped to 8, and got back to 8.5. We have 15 cents of movement on the over. Let's get into the money line here. The money line in this one is sitting at minus 177 for the Dodgers. It opened up at minus 183, so we've had a very slight move towards the Angels. And let's get to the cash flow then. The cash flow in this spot, 96% of tickets, 97% of cash on the over, 94% of tickets, 98% of cash on the Dodgers. Jose Bouquett, take it away. Dodger Stadium, Los Angeles, California. Sorry, I didn't give the weather in LA. It is 74 Fahrenheit, warmer than usual, 8.4 miles per hour to right field. It stays between 8.4 and 6.3. Take it away.
Yeah, no action again here. Patrick Sandoval, not a guy I trust. And Landon Knack, again, another guy that I couldn't get my teeth into and really go one way or another. So I stayed off this game as well to keep it short and sweet. However, I can say, Jimmy, there will be a special surprise. There will be an edit to the Stacks play of the day thing that I think you'll like here shortly.
Oh, I like to see it. I like to hear it. DC Cap on Dodgers minus 1.5. Shout out to our guy Picks from Dave renewing his gold membership. $100 horse race coming up here after WNBA. Yeah, I don't really feel any. I don't feel as appealing to me here. Market not moving fast over to the Dodgers, not moving at all to the Dodgers. And Patrick Sandoval knows the opportunity that he has in front of him. And you know, I'll be interested to see what happens with these numbers of the Dodgers without Mookie Betts in the lineup. Obviously buoyed by that Colorado Rockies series. We also know what happens when teams leave Colorado is their sticks sometimes are left, on board. So this doesn't appeal to me. So let's get into the reminder of all MLB action before we get into WNBA. And big shout out to Justin McKelvey. Now 11 straight winners of the Stacks Play of the Day. So here is the action from the Cappers in the chat in us in MLB. We have Dommy Gun on the Mets plus 128, Phillies first 5 and the under 5.5. That's together minus 125. Red Sox money line, Twins minus 1.5 plus 105. He's on the under 8.5 in the LA Dodgers game, and he's on the Rockies first 5. There is the look from our guy TJ. His best bet: Boston Red Sox. Viper and Bees on Detroit minus 1. Joey Harbs on Boston but Boston team total over 4.5. Rocco Rogers locked in Jock Peterson over 1.5 bases and a home run. And Morgan Spooners on the Kansas City Royals over 3.5 in Seattle on the minus 1 line. Then Smooth Balls play today is Minnesota Boston Dodgers, and Wine Times on the Philly Arizona over 9.5. The Chicago Cubs game is about to pop off. We have both Dommy Gun and Ron Crawford on the Mets. Sharpie is on Imanaga over 6.5 Ks at plus 120. Troy's on the Cubs side minus half. I'm on the over 8. Then we are on Jose, Troy, and myself are all on the Diamondbacks first 5. Stacks Play today going for 12 in a row is the Diamondbacks team total over 4.5, and Jose's on that as well. Then I'm going to decide between the White Sox first 3 or the first 5 plus a half. I'm already on the first 5 under 4 even money. So we beat that line move heavy. I don't know if that equates to, I was uncomfortable. I have some funny feeling about Flaherty after 3 straight scoreless road starts coming back home to a place that's not really his home. First year in Detroit, and he's not been good there. We'll see. Rays, Pirates, one of the few games we stayed off. Ribeye play today, Matt Olson plus 175. Jose's on the Braves at plus 101. BJ is on the Braves money line for his best bet, and Daby Cab hawked play today. Ozuna over 1.5 hits, runs, and RBIs. Then Jose's on the Red Sox minus 113. I'm joining him. Same with Dommy Gun. Sports money from Mikey Money. Your grandma's wearing your sister's panties again. Play today's Mets in the under 8. Forgot to mention that. Joe T's best bet is the Braves Yankees over 8. Troy's on the first 5 under and the full game under in Seattle, Miami. I'm going to be on the Jays first 3 and first 5. It's a double up. Jose joined me on the first 5 and got a better line than I'm going to get. I'm going to be on the Royals in the first 5 under. Razor Sharp picks Gambler's first glance is at Texas Royals under 8. LJ is on the first 5 over 4.5, full game over 8.5 in Baltimore, Houston, and Bregman over 1.5 bases plus 125. We stayed off that game. We stayed off Nats Cards as well, or Nats Rockies as well. Then I'm going to be on the Brewers, and I'm going to be on the A's first 3 or first 5 plus a half. I got to make that decision, and I stayed off Angels, Dodgers. There is our action. All right, it is time to get into WNBA. Jose, do you have any last words before you leave us in return for their horse race?
Nope. I have a lot of things to do, so no. But shout out to the a new version of the Stacks Play today that will be debuting here very shortly. So shout out to you, Justin. Happy birthday as well.
Are we gonna see it?
Give me 2 seconds. Give me 2 seconds. I just need to finalize it.
Morgan Spooner also Nick Corner over 1.5 bases. Patrick Wisdom homer. Kensedy over 3.5. Haven't bet the Seattle -1 yet. Waiting for a better line live possibly. Pamper Pop play of the day is the over 5.5 and Connor McDavid anytime goal. So here we go. It is time to get into WNBA, and we have just a man for the job joining us from Wednesday to Friday here on for WNBA action. He set everybody up to get paid on the Sky game at noon yesterday, but he didn't move on the under, and a lot of us did. And I can't wait to hear his thoughts for Fever Dream and then Sun Aces. Please welcome from South Jersey, star of the Locker Room podcast, Locker Room Talk podcast that stars Big Show, Brizzy, and 2 Cents, and it's blowing up. It's just love watching it, watching this trajectory of our new UFC show. Please check it out. It's on our homepage. Please welcome Billy Brisbane. Brizzy, what's good, man? How are you?
A little bit frustrated from yesterday's injury news report. Erika ended up getting ruled in last minute. There's no news of her getting ruled in or out. She just shot up on the screen and shot the ball 50 times on fucking TV. And then Benaj Laney Hamilton was out for the Liberty game. So I ended up losing the first quarter on that one. So we got to get back to the well today. A little bit more confirmed injury news report today, so I don't have to fucking swivel through Twitter every fucking 5 seconds.
Well, let's roll WNBA with our guy Billy Brisbane. We start 7:30 p.m. Eastern with the Indiana Fever, 6-10, 2-6 on the road. At the Atlanta Dream, 6-7, 3-4 at home. We are at State Farm Arena in Atlanta, Georgia. We're going to be using BetOnline lines. If you're looking for a new account for BetOnline, do it through our site and use Pub Sports as a promo code. They will give you 100% bonus up to $1,000, and it doesn't have to be Bitcoin. All the other sites are Bitcoin. We got away with just cash. Let's take a look at the line here at BetOnline. This has opened up with the Indiana Fever at +1.5. This was yesterday at noon. And then there's a huge move towards the Fever. Within an hour and 3 minutes, there's a 3 point. It goes to -1.5 3-point move, then to -2, and then by 8 o'clock it's -3. And when it bounced back to 2.5, it came back to 3 again this morning. This was 3 at 9:07 this morning. Now it's 2.5. We still have 4 points of movement towards the Indiana Fever. From a total side of things here, we have a 163. This opened up at 163.5, dropped down to 162.5, went up to 164.5. Now sitting here with a half-point move to the under. Take a look at the cash flow for WNBA here. Move over here. We have, here we go. We have 50-50 on the ticket count, but 91% of the cash on the Fever. 88% of tickets on the over, and it's not moving. We don't know the cash flow there. Take it away for us here, Brizzy. Fever Dream in Atlanta.
Yeah, I'll be quick. We talked about the Atlanta Dream a couple days ago when they played the Minnesota Lynx, and I laid the -8 on the game there for Atlanta. I just don't think Atlanta is a good basketball team right now. Now, without Ryan Howard out of the lineup, will the coach be able to adapt the system that she wants to employ? Because guard-wise, you need Alicia Gray and Ryan Howard to be out transition. But with Tina Charles in the middle, and she's an old lady that is just a post player, you got to kind of run a half-court offense. So it's a yin and a yang. Indiana's in better form. This line actually opened up, I saw, as high as +4 for Indiana. Drastically has came down. I kind of lean towards the over, but I got to go to the player prop market here. We got to revenge the player prop market here. Aaliyah Boston over 25.5 points and rebounds. Let me check the odds on that. -120. She started off the season slow, but during this win streak, it's mainly contributed from Caitlin Clark and Aaliyah Boston's pick and roll connection. Boston's gone over in each of their last 4 games. The Dream are allowing the 3rd most field goals in the restricted area and the 3rd most rebounds per game. Last week when the Fever played the Dream, Aaliyah Boston had a season high 27 points and 13 rebounds. So, I mean, with it being at 25.5, I think there's a little bit of wiggle room here. I think that's the way they're going to try to attack the Dream, is with the pick and rolls with Caitlin Clark and Alicia Boston. It's been working. When it comes to a side, I guess I got to roll with the Indiana Fever here. If I had to pick a side, I would pick the Indiana Fever here. It just goes back to that statement that I said yesterday about laying points with teams that don't play defense. But the Chicago Sky ended up doing their damn thing yesterday. It won in blowout fashion. So could be leaving some money on the board tonight. But, I mean, we got PFL action tonight. I don't need to be pressing a bunch of stuff in a basketball game that I'm not too high on. I like Aaliyah Boston, points and rebounds. That's it for me in this one. When it comes to the total, I actually lean towards the over, but I'm not trying to bet on Atlanta Dream scoring points right now. So I would probably isolate it with the Indiana Fever team total over. When it comes to first half ATS spreads, man, the Atlanta Dream are always a team I'm looking to fade at home. They're just a horrible first half ATS team, but the Fever aren't too much better. So there's no first quarter, first half angle in this one. I just like the Aaliyah Boston player prop.
Boston over 25.5 points and rebounds. Available right now, -120 for our guy, Brizzy. We move on to 10 p.m. action. We've heard from Ron Crawford. God, my throat's closing up. Excuse me. Ron Crawford play today is Vegas Aces here at home against a Connecticut Sun team that's 5-0 on the road this year. 13-1 at home. We're Michelob Ultra Arena in Las Vegas, Nevada. Sorry, the COVID's messing with me here. From a total standpoint, we're sitting at a 165. This opened up at 162.5. The first thing this total did was dropped to 161.5. And then it climbed all the way up. Now we're at 165, which is the highest that it's been. Excuse me. From a point spread perspective, this is sitting at 5.5 at BetOnline. There are 5 still out there. This opened up at 6.5 and moved to 7. Then it started coming back to earth, which is where it is now. It is sitting right now at 5.5. So we have a full point move towards the Connecticut Sun. Take a look at the cash flow for this one. We have no information on the total or the spread. We're getting no information here from the Action Network. So let's get our information from Billy Brisbane. The Dapper Capper, Joey Marinaccio on the Sun plus 5.5. Mally Mal on the Sun plus 6.5 and the over. Take it away for us, Brizzy. Sun Aces in Vegas.
Yeah, this game reminds me a lot of the Aces last game against the Seattle Storm, where they were about 5.5, 6.5, or 5.5 went up to 6.5 once Gray got ruled in point favorites. And it was just one of those ones where I couldn't lay the points with the Aces, but I wanted to be on the Aces, so I ended up betting the over. And that's kind of the same theme here that I'm on for this Connecticut Sun and Aces game. The Aces defense is just bad right now. 80 points to 6 out of 7 opponents during the month of June. Talked about it last time that they played. It's a pace-up spot for the Sun, but their season strength of schedule is very weak. They've played all bottom feeders in the Eastern Conference, hence why I think their record's a little bit inflated. 5-0 on the road. They only lost one game this season, and their one game that they lost was against a better team. The Liberty ended up going to the Commissioner Cup Final off that game. The Aces have failed to cover 10 out of their last 14 games as favorites. Was that a one-game thing last game, or are the Aces back for real now? The Suns have a low 3-point percentage, but they make up for it leading the WNBA in free throw trips. The Sun have scored 84 points in each of their last 4 games. The Aces are averaging 85.6 points per game over their last 5 games. Give me the over 164.5 at FanDuel here. I think this line is a little bit too low. We've been seeing high 169s, 170s in these Aces games. And this one's more prevalent on how the Connecticut Sun season numbers look like. But sometimes when you see these pace-up spots for these slower-paced teams and these high-profile games, more points go on the board, and it's a national TV game. So we want points.
Hey, Odysseus, ever since Asia Wilson cried at the post-game conference last week, things have changed. Justin McKelvey got the Aces -2 2 days ago. Says not confident in his bet despite moving in his favor. Well, the middle is going to be up for grabs, Justin. You might want to move on that live to get a better line, but the middle is going to be up for grabs. Brizzy on the over 164.5 at -110. He's tied that up with Alicia Boston over 25.5 points and rebounds at -120. Brizzy making time for us in WNBA. Brizzy, I know you have this massive weekend ahead of you. Let everybody know what's going on.
Yeah, we got PFL popping off tonight. We got a little bit of PFL action. I'll give out a free play for tonight. Jim, you're going to like this one, man. Today is Canada's National Indigenous People Day. So we're back with Michael Duffert on the money line today. He can get inside the PFL playoffs tonight by a win of any method you're in. You don't have to win by knockout. You don't have to win by submission. You just got to win the fucking fight, and you're in the playoffs. And this would be a great time for him to do this. He ended up knocking out the dude that's in the main event tonight, Mads Burnell, who's a big underdog. He was a big favorite the first time that they matched up. Michael Duffert ended up knocking him out. I'm actually pretty high on this Canadian prospect. I'm going to have some money on him tonight. And then the 2-leg parlay that I'll give out tonight, co-main event here, Impa Kasaganai and Clay Cassius Collard, -129 parlay. Hey, if you don't believe me, you watch the PFL weigh-ins and look at Mads Burnell's 12-pack. They ain't no 12-pack. I've been drinking a bunch of 12-packs after I got knocked out of my last fight 2 months ago. Clay Collard's good money tonight. Impa Kasaganai, You got to have the poster boy in the playoffs. One thing that I like about the PFL a little bit more than the UFC is it's all based off of standing. So you have to score a certain amount of points to make the playoffs. So it's like you kind of know that you're going to get from the fighter A or fighter B. Like in the co-main event, it was the dude that he's fighting has to win by first round knockout to make the playoffs. So he's probably going to go for it, and he's probably going to get knocked out in the second or third round. Second and third round knockouts for Impa Kasaganai for a minus 350 favorite. His second round knockout prop is plus 750, and the third round knockout props plus 950. So I think he gets a late finish there. Those are some D-Gem props you can look at. But make sure you tune in UFC Saudi Arabia tomorrow here, 12 o'clock noon Eastern on Pub Sports Radio. Hit that bell notification. We had to go deep dive into Saudi Arabia's public relations this week. A little bit deeper dive than what we did on the podcast. And there's a lot of stuff going on in Saudi Arabia that I did not know this week. So you got to tune in for the podcast tomorrow because there's a lot of fucking things that I did not know about Saudi Arabia. Like there's no promotion of any energy drinks or alcohol beverages in Saudi Arabia. So anybody with the last name like Johnny Walker probably won't get promoted because they don't want to promote a alcohol brand in the Saudi Arabian countries. And they're not too high on the women. And they're having problems with the South Koreans featuring 2 South Koreans on the first 2 fights of the night. They might go down in flames. It's one of those type of weekends where you're going to have to really tap into the Saudi Arabians. That's why you're going to be tapped in with us here at Pub Sports Radio. And find me over at Getting Bills _ for a couple of free plays that we post out to the website.
I love it. I love it, Brizzy. I love it. I love everything that you guys are doing on your new podcast. We're very, very proud of everything you guys are doing. So shout out to our guy, Billy Brisbane. Again, he's on the over 164.5 in Connecticut's on Las Vegas Aces, and he's on Boston over 25.5 points and rebounds. Well, the over 8 is getting off to a nice start here. It's been a winning week after a winning week last week, and we are climbing our way closer to the black. Now, the black isn't the end all and be all. We want to be winners, but I would like to start this day off with a winner here. Get rolling.
My God. I was so close to betting the Mets.
Yeah. Well, we Dommy gun on the Mets, and the spreadsheet play today on the Mets up 3-0, live total at 10.5 right now. And we are in business. We are in business.
Yeah, you need a T here.
Yeah, it's I cannot believe this, that it's fucking day 11 of COVID. I mean, it's just absolutely ridiculous.
Yeah,
but we've been winning and making money, and the shows have been a lot of fun. I apologize for not for sounding like this as the show's gone on. Jose, what is our plan for the $100 horse race today, my friend?
I think we should just knock it all out. One race, a minute long, and we preserve as much of that voice as we can.
Did you add? Well, let's do. If we're gonna do that, let's go a minute and a half. So we'll do 45 and 45. Did you do? Did you get? We had 2 new.
Yeah, Dave and William Bargo.
Yeah.
Yep, 72 members now. Shout out to you both.
All right. A minute 45. Okay, I like it.
Is that not what you said?
I said a minute and a half, 45 each way, but that works. 1 minute 45 is fun. Okay, so we're gonna go. So I'll take over it. You do the full first minute. I'll take over at the 45-second mark. How many horses do we have running today?
72 horses. And
you think
shout
for
out
$100 that we should? That you think this is the right? Because this is a big one. You think we should let them all go for it? It's $100 on the line.
Yeah, $100. Let them all run. There's no complaints, no nothing.
All right.
We let them go. We'll give you guys plenty of opportunities. One race to rule them all. A minute 45. And I'll admit, Jimmy, I think everyone is rooting for the birthday boy, Justin McElvey, who apparently made this song for his intro or for his graphic.
Stacks, 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 stacks.
Ooh, I love it. He did that?
Apparently so.
Oh, that's dope. I love it. I absolutely love it. Love it, love it, love it. Love it. Man, respect. That does add to it. Ramon says 72 horses is pretty much like the Royal Ascot. Yes, it is pretty much like the Royal Ascot here.
By the way, I know you probably finished first, but you know who finished second in that race?
Who?
Venezuelans. That's who. Trainer and jockey combo for Venezuelan. Shout to Trisha who told me that.
You guys have been dominating. There's no doubt about it. Yeah, that was great. I love it. Love the addition. Love it. Love what we've done all together, man. I love it. So here we go. We have $100 on the line. All of the marbles. Take it away, Jose. Let's see who gets that cash.
Let us see who gets that cash. Shout out to everyone watching the program. 1:45 for this race. $100. Your time starts now. We're racing here in the beautiful, illustrious Southtown 101 raceway here. 15 seconds into the race. BT shooting out in the league. Jason Meyer up there. Connor Max. Donut Silks also in the mix here. Can Jason Meyer possibly go back-to-back after re-putting his money in the pot this week? Let us find out. Nutflush Allen making a charge here as well. Billy Friedrich in the mix. I'm That Heat and picks from Dave at the bottom of our screen. All making an appearance here. What a race this is about to be. A minute left here. We are pushing and rolling here. This is going to be an interesting final minute here, Jimmy. Who's coming home with this bacon? Who's coming home with this horse race action here? 50 seconds left. Julian Cesario pushing up to the front. Is that Nasty Nate up at the top of the screen, Jimmy? Take us home. Oh, my goodness.
You say Nasty Nate's name, and he backtracks. And that is what's happening here. Daby Cab, though, making a move. J-Dub now in the lead. Jay Peasy right up front with Ron Crawford, BT, and Philly Eagle Fire. Here comes Sharon Pulliam. Sharon Pulliam making a major move to the front. BT, Jay Peasy, and Jarek White. Rob Free also in business. 15 seconds left for all the cash, and now it's Jay Peasy all alone. Can Jay Peasy get these final steps for $100? Can Jay Peasy get there? Here comes the Dapper Capper, Joey Marinaccio to try and get away.
Oh, here comes Justin from the back.
Here comes Mikey Money. And it is the Dapper Capper, Joey Marinaccio. $100 richer thanks to being a gold member of Pub Sports Radio. Rod Zawacki, an incredible performance, second place. Unfortunately, gets you squad ass zilch.
Nothing, Rod. Nothing.
But excitement. You got a lot of excitement. Jay Peasy in third. Kelly McInnes has been very disappointed in his performance.
I'm interested to see where Kelly's horse is.
He just has not been delivering at a level that he's comfortable with. And we're still looking for him.
Oh, no, Kelly.
Oh, no.
Oh,
no. The Hamburglar, 67th. 67th.
Oh, that's ugly stuff there. That is ugly stuff there, Kelly.
Well, congratulations to Joey Marinaccio, the Dapper Capper, a hundo richer. I love it. JPZ's best showing yet. JPZ there, 10 seconds left. Just had to get to the wire. Joey Marinaccio, thank you so much for that. And that's what our friend Ron Crawford wanted to do as well. It's not going to work out that way at this point. And I won't get into details, but there's been no, I don't want to get into it, but no reciprocation. They don't want to talk to us. Nobody wants to talk to us. So we can't help the way we want to help. Now, I have thought of an idea, and if you guys want to just hold off on your cash for a second, I'll tell you the idea that I thought of. So if we can't get help with his family, what we know about Teese was that he was a professional gambler and he loved gambling and gamblers. I was thinking that we do a fundraiser, intermittently once or twice a year or whatever. And we have like a bursary, and it's like let's say it's $1,000. that we give to a young gambler or any gambler who needs it, not for their bankroll necessarily, but needs it for something in their life. I haven't really figured it out, but like the Parlay Tees Encouragement Fund, we could call it. And so I'd like to pitch that to, and then every year we give it to a different young gambler to help their life out. If they need help paying rent or something, something that will, buoy the spirits of a young gambler in the name of Tees.
Buoy.
So, why don't you guys? Because then you guys could be the beginning of that. So, why don't we just
mini scholarship fund?
Yeah, but not for school.
Yeah,
for their life, or for their bankroll, for something like that. Because that's what Tees wanted to do, was help gamblers, and this way every year we could give it to a different young gambler. So, Ron Crawford and Joey, let's just hold on the idea. I pitched it to Dommy Gunn, and I'll pitch it again not pitch it again. I'll pitch it to DJ Big Boss, because next Friday we are doing a hangout live stream for Tees on Hoobangin Sports Talk on their YouTube channel. We'll tell you guys more about that. So, here we go. So I'm gonna Joey Marinacci. So we'll just put your wins just on hold for now, because maybe you guys could put it to that, and then every year, a young gambler gets just a little help. We know how any person who gambles knows how difficult this is. That what we're trying to do, and I'm sure there's some young gamblers that could use the help. So we'll talk more about it as we go. Coin saying bases juiced for the Cubs, no outs. Ooh, we got an 8. We had an 8. That was the over. I love it. Ramon Scott says 1K entry after Tees for one of the big football contests. That's a real interesting one as well. So let's just thank you guys. We'll just put the winners that you guys have had and just put it on hold right now, and we'll decide what's the best way for us to keep the spirit of Tees alive. So that is our show for today, Jose. I want to thank Gavin Henry, who gave us another winner yesterday, 61.25 to 1 with his look in Indy. It helped me very much. We want to thank the birthday guys, Michael Piccioni, Kuji Cam, and Justin McKelvey. Have a great, great birthday. Justin, you give so much to us and care so much about the show. And watching you cash 11 straight winners, and now your birthday, and now we have this great clip. It's special, man. It's special what you do for us, and it's special that we can be a part of your capping and what you are doing. Can we see the Justin McKelvey video one more time before we put a bow on this?
Stacks, 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 stacks.
I love that. Man. That's cool. We have best bet on the board for me is the Winnipeg Blue Bombers full game. Best bet on the board for me.
Yep, and mine, Justin. Take the Red Sox and enjoy the day. And a little special bonus. You feeling good about yourselves today? Venezuela versus Ecuador tomorrow. Draw plus 240.
Oh.
It begins, and then it begins the day where I take your money, Jim. Can't wait.
I am on the first period under 1.5 and the full game under 5.5. I've not seen anybody else on it. Not one person. I don't know exactly why. Just because we've seen 3 straight overs. I don't know why. In the most important game of the year, why do people think it's going to be wide open? I don't know. I have no idea why people think that. Just because they have a bias? I don't know.
I am rooting for the Oilers tonight just for a Game 7. That would be a lot of fun.
And that Game 7 will be live here on Monday night with everybody. So then again in CFL, I'm going to add the Argos first half and full game as soon as the show's over. I'm already on the under 50.5 in the Hamilton Saskatchewan on Sunday, and I'm waiting for the Ticats +3. Then we've reviewed baseball a few times. I don't know if we need to do that again. We've reviewed everybody's action a few times, so we can just put a bow on this. But this is Dirty Red says give money to a gambler, they'll gamble. That's fine. I don't think there has to be like if they want to put it into their bankroll. Look, this is just to help. We'll talk about this. We'll find out the right way to recognize Tees and to support Tees. We'll find it out. But this is a special group, a special community. I'm so thankful to be a part of it. It gives my life direction, and I'm just thankful. To all you guys in the chat, Dirty Reg, Kelsey, Jay Peasy, Justin McKelvey on his birthday, AOD, Mr. Heat, Saturated, Kelly McInnes. It's just such a great group. I'm thankful to cap with you guys each and every day. Tori Coker, Joey Marinaccio, the Dapper Capper, immediately wanting to put that 100 into Tees. Ramon Scott, Ron Crawford immediately wanted to put his money into Tees as well. You guys it's a special group. Jarek White, Christopher Tatum, Old E, Reginald Codes, Markel. Thank you guys. Because you guys don't realize, I get a lot of people saying like, you don't realize what you're doing for other people. You guys don't know what you realize what you're doing for me. I'm just so thankful. You do so much for me, and I'm telling you, give me direction. So thank you guys. Jose, I love working with you. Sending you messages at late at night, knowing that you will stop everything to produce these things. It means a ton to the whole community as well. So great week. Crush it tomorrow on Say Hey Plays of the Day, which you can be seen Saturday and Sunday mornings. Jose, can you bless our action and let's us into the future?
Yeah. Thanks everyone for watching as always. Shout out to the birthday boys, Justin, Kuji, all you guys. We appreciate you guys as always for watching the shows every day. And again, we see Justin McKelvey's record. He posts that pic every day, and we have a show every day, 400 plus days in a row. So shout out to you, Justin. I'm that Heat, Mally, AOD, Tori, all you guys. Appreciate you guys. Say hey to us on social media at Jose Bouquett, at Jimmy the Bag, at Pub Sports Radio, and go to the website. Support any way you can. Buy some merch. Become a member if you're not already. And if you are a member and you're not gold, upgrade to gold. You can be in these Pub Sports Radio horse races as well. Till next time, leche. Those motherfucking bookmakers.